Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
The all-new 2023 Ford Everest is here. An off-road capable 7-seater with exquisite style and more technology. Get everything you're looking for in an SUV. Book your new Everest today.
The temperature by KIG Ford is
26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius out west in Montego Bay.
News at 5 teasers are brought to you by Advanced Scales and Equipment. Service is our total commitment.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I am George Davis.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, Prime Minister Andrew Holness pushes back against U.S. advisory warning Americans about the dangers of traveling to Jamaica.
It is clear that based upon all the statistics that I have given you and the direction in which we are heading, the advisory is at variance with the statistics as the improvements are evident.
Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Anthony Anderson says the incidence of crimes against visitors is negligible.
When we start to do the overall crime rate for visitors, that's all crime, we'll see 26 per million incidents.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says opposition leader Mark Golding is a political dunce.
A lot of his people are telling me that
He's a political dunce.
Yes.
Councillor for the Papine Division, Venetia Phillips, files police report over perceived threat from a PNP supporter seen in a video with the PNP chairman.
The murder trial of Portland businessman Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald has reached the stage for closing arguments.
In news from the rest of the world, the tourism minister in the Bahamas says concerns prompted by damning U.S. and Canadian travel advisories appear to be abating.
Benjamin Netanyahu rejects terms of Gaza peace deal and says fighting will continue for months to come.
In sports, Jamaica's Scorpions struggle against windward volcanoes in regional cricket at Sabina Park.
And later in our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the recent travel advisory issued by the U.S. State Department shows that the perception of crime in Jamaica differs from the reality.
It is clear that based upon all the statistics that I have given you and the direction in which we are heading, that the advisory is at variance with the statistics as the improvements are evident.
You'll hear from the Prime Minister along with Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson at the National Security Seminar on Wednesday.
In Public Opinion at 6:26, we're asking, do you know your polling division for local government election day? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
At 8, it's Boya Things After Dark with Kareem Boya Things Weathers. All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store this Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday, February 7, 2024.
News at 5 teasers were brought to you by Advanced Scales and Equipment. Service is our total commitment.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the recent advisory issued by the U.S. State Department urging Americans to reconsider travel to Jamaica is proof that the perception of crime in the country differs from the reality. Speaking at a national security seminar on Wednesday, the Prime Minister says his government must do a better job communicating its successes in the fight against crime and violence. Chevron Campbell tells us more.
Citing data from the Latin American and Public Opinion Project, Prime Minister Holness said the perception of crime among Jamaicans is different from their experience.
A recent LAPOP survey of 20 countries within the region showed that Jamaica has one of the highest expressed concern about crime, meaning that the fear of crime not the highest expressed. But Jamaica has the lowest victimization rate in the region. In effect, how people feel about crime versus what they experience, two different things. So they do feel threatened, but when you ask them, have you been a victim? No.
But the perception of rampant crime from Negril to Morant Point goes well beyond Jamaica's borders. The U.S. State Department reissued a Level 3 travel advisory for Jamaica with updated language highlighting elevated levels of violent crime on the island. The Prime Minister says the advisory is not reflective of the reality on the ground.
In the view of the recent U.S. travel advisory, it is clear that based upon all the statistics that I have given you and the direction in which we are heading, that the advisory is at variance with the statistics as the improvements are evident, certainly in terms of what we're doing with crime, violence, and safety. So as governments and law enforcement personnel are present here, the challenge for us is to come up with strategies as well as to how we close the gap between how persons feel and the reality, especially in the age of social media and its impact on perception.
Mr. Holness says the country's security experts must do a better job communicating information about the country's improvements where the management of violent crime is concerned.
In any perception evaluation, there is lag time for change. In marketing, you have this concept of cognitive consonance and cognitive dissonance. The perception of a value or a product versus what the real value of the product is when you go to consume it. And so for your cognition to change, it takes a little time. And the lag time is a function of how fast we can get policy effective and then the information about the effectiveness of the policy to the people.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson shared data at the seminar, which he says proves that the incidence of crime perpetrated against foreign nationals is negligible.
I wanted to raise this point because we did some further analysis, and when it gets down to our visitors to the island, last year we had 4.15 million visitors. This is of all nationalities, of which largely 75% tend to be U.S. citizens. So when we start to do the overall crime rate for visitors, that's all crime, we are seeing a 26 per million incidents. When we looked at it for the actual homicide rate for our visitors, it's more like 2.3 per million visitors.
The police chief says statistics also show a relatively low incidence of murders perpetrated against the majority of Jamaicans. He says this supports the Prime Minister's argument that the perception of crime in Jamaica is at odds with the reality.
The homicide rate in Jamaica last year was 46 per 100,000. For the majority of the population in Jamaica, it is who are not in the ecosystem of organized violence, that drops to 4.3 per 100,000. For a visitor to the island, that then drops to 2.3 per million. So it's significantly less. And I think it's important because it's consistent with, I think, the point that the Prime Minister was making, that we as a country have to manage two things, the reality, but also the perception and how people feel about these things.
Major General Anthony Anderson, Commissioner of Police.
Meanwhile, a writer at the respected travel and leisure publication Travel Weekly, Arnie Weissman, says the reissued advisory from the U.S. State Department runs counter to Jamaica's story of recovery. Dana Davey tells us more.
According to Weissman, the language of the reissued advisory, which did not elevate its threat level, paints a dark picture of a country where violent crimes are common and sexual assaults occur frequently, including at all-inclusive resorts. Prime Minister Holness, according to the writer, seems genuinely perplexed by both the content and timing of the advisory. The advisory came just 2 weeks after a glowing report about the island from the Financial Times of London. Mr. Holness says not only is Jamaica's economic performance the envy of developing countries, serious crimes were at a 2-decade low. While acknowledging that Jamaica's overall murder rate is still considered high, Mr. Holness asserted that foreigners had little to fear. He pointed to the fact that crimes against foreigners occur at a rate of 0.01%. Jamaica's leading hotelier, Adam Stewart, the executive chairman of Sandals Resorts, has also weighed in on the issue. He says he's particularly perplexed by the notion of sexual assaults occurring frequently at all-inclusive resorts. He says, like many in the industry, Sandals has a zero-tolerance policy on the matter. Mr. Stewart also defended the quality of health services available in the tourism mecca of Montego Bay, St. James. Mr. Stewart says the U.S. travel advisory has had a material impact on the country's tourism market, with a spike in cancellations peaking at 45% after the warning was issued. But he added that the damage is already subsiding. Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
A political dunce. That's how Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has described opposition leader Mark Golding over his declaration that the upcoming local government elections are a referendum on the Holness administration. Mahiri Stewart has our story.
On Sunday, the PNP president told a large crowd of comrades in South St. Andrew that the February 26 local polls will allow Jamaicans to register their displeasure with how the Holness administration has been managing central government.
Comrades, we're focusing on February the 26th, and that is an important day. My friends on this platform have spoken to why we need to send a signal. This will be a referendum on this government. This will be an earthquake for the Labour Party government. Because when on the 26th the PNP is victorious in the local government elections, it is only a matter of time before the general has to be called and the PNP will be returned to power under the government of Mark Golding.
But speaking Wednesday on Cliffhughes Online, the Justice Minister said Mark Golding was a political dunce for uttering those remarks.
I have never seen such political dunce as a leader of the opposition to put this as a referendum on the government. If you had any good sense, you leave it to community matters, no? But this is the best performing government in the history of this country, and the people know it. Yes, we have some problems to resolve. We have many roads that need to be fixed, many people that need water, many people are still in poverty. But they can see that this government is getting things done, that the ministers are working hard, that we have a prime minister who is the most hard-working prime minister this country has ever seen. And they love him. So,
did you just say we have never seen an opposition leader as dunce politically as this one?
Absolutely.
Mr. Chuck says his view of the opposition leader is shared by others in the PNP.
A lot of his people are telling me that.
That he's a political dunce?
Yes. How could he do that?
Oh?
And that is why you have more and more comrades coming across. I have one of my political who ran against me. So she voted for me in this election. I said, why? I have to vote for you. A lot of comrades across the country realize that time come for some people to go.
Among those people?
The leadership, the present leadership of the PNP, who can't be trusted, who have divided the People's National Party, who have sidelined some of their best members.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Councillor for the Papine Division in the KSAMC, Venetia Phillips, says she's reported to the police what she perceives as a threat of violence against her by a supporter of the People's National Party, PNP. In a video posted on TikTok, a man is seen in the company of 3 women. One of the women is PNP chairman of the South St. Andrew MP, Dr. Angela Brown Burke. The man, who identifies himself as Sheppy, threatens to gouge Miss Phillips's eye as the women around him break into laughter.
Nastiness, your girl Venetia, remember a long time I tell you say a labor right, you know. Michelle Phillips and tell you again, yo, took out of you. Funny of your girl is in there getting
all figuratively speaking, of course.
In an apparent acknowledgement of the potential trouble the comments could cause, Dr. Brown Burke was quick to say that the man's words were to be taken figuratively. But Ms. Phillips, who switched to the JLP from the PNP in November last year, did not see the funny side. She told our news center that she has filed a report with the Matilda's Corner Police. Efforts to contact Dr. Brown Burke were futile, but our news center did speak with the PNP General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, but he said he was unaware of the video or its content.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the JLP's Public Relations Committee, Robert Morgan, is condemning the threats directed against Councillor Phillips.
The Jamaica Labour Party is deeply concerned by the recent threats directed at Venetia Phillips, our candidate for the Papine Division, a People's National Party supporter in the presence of PNP Chairman Angela Brown Burke, made menacing remarks towards Phillips. Of grave concern is the apparent indifference displayed by the PNP Chairman, who, instead of denouncing the threat, was embracing the individual responsible.
Robert Morgan, Chairman of the JLP's Public Relations Committee, he was speaking with Nationwide News on Wednesday.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide 90 FM. More news after these.
It's my baby's first birthday and I'm having a big party. I've got 1,000 things to do and I have a headache. I took my dependable Advil liquid gels as always. They're strong, fast, and work well for me.
The time by Advil liquid gel is
16 minutes past 5.
Suzuki, I give you deals on deals. So here's the deal. Purchase a 2024 Suzuki Vitara, Grand Vitara, XL7 or the all-new Bronx from as low as $4.79 million. Just $53,500 monthly. Enjoy 5 years warranty, free vehicle tracking and servicing, plus more. Offer valid at Stewart's Automotive Group, South Camp Road, Kingston, and Iron Shore Bay. Stop by your test drive events on February 10 and 24. Follow Suzuki Jamaica for more details. Conditions apply.
Continuing the news, the prosecution and the defense in the murder trial of Portland businessman Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald have both closed their cases. Closing arguments are set to follow when the trial resumes on February 19. Beachy Stout and his co-accused are charged with the murder of his second wife, Tonya Hamilton MacDonald. On Wednesday, the court heard about Oscar Barnes' good character from the mother of his child. Oscar Barnes has been charged jointly alongside Beachy Stout. Roby and Williams was in court.
Peaceful and jovial are words used by Oscar Barnes' baby mother to describe him. The woman said she has known Barnes for 14 years, but they were only together for 3 years as they separated in 2011. She said the murder charge against him caught her by surprise because she didn't know him to be a violent person. She said she has never even heard of Barnes being involved in any physical altercation. During cross-examination, the prosecution submitted that Barnes' baby mother didn't know of his lifestyle between 2011 and 2020. The prosecutor asked her, quote, "You know that he sold guns?" Evidently shocked by this question, the woman answered, "No, ma'am." The prosecutor asked, "You know that he got married? You know his wife?" To those two questions, the witness responded, "Yes, ma'am." Asked if she knew where Barnes was on July 20, 2020, the witness replied, "No, ma'am." The prosecutor suggested that Barnes' baby mother could not account for his way of life, a suggestion that Barnes' baby mother disagreed with. She said, quote, "It's not like he's going to tell me every move he's making. He's my son's father. We talk regularly." Tonya Hamilton MacDonald's partially burnt body was discovered in her car on July 20, 2020 in Sherwood Forest, Portland. She had been stabbed multiple times and her throat slashed. Roby Ann Williams for Nationwide News.
Senior strategist in the Ministry of Tourism, Delano Sivright, says the ministry is working to restore the damage caused by strong storm surges which hit parts of Negril, Ocho Rios and Montego Bay on Monday.
there was some minor damage and some infrastructure issues as it relates to the very rough waves that impacted the island. We had some issues in Negril. We did have some minor damage in Montego Bay at a number of establishments. And we did have issues, of course, in the Ocho Rios area. And we know that the Port Authority of Jamaica has been on top of the issues with Ocho Rios. There are some issues that we know the National Works Agency will be looking at, certainly in Negril, as it relates to the West End Road in particular. Outside of disruptions of beaches and beach-related activities, the rest of it is pretty much minimal or resolvable in the space of days, maybe a few weeks.
Mr. Sivright says the ministry has already contacted the affected stakeholders to discuss the restoration and repair agenda.
We have been in touch with a number of stakeholders in the entertainment and the hotel and the broader accommodation spaces, especially, of course, establishments located along the coastline who were terribly inconvenienced and clearly have a number of issues to sort through as it relates to the water damage that was caused. But they are all confident that they will be up and running in no time and that they will be back to regular business in very short order.
Delana Sivright, Senior Strategist in the Ministry of Tourism.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success. Charles O'Connor Consulting Network Limited, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute. In the Bahamas, Tourism Minister Chester Cooper says concerns sparked by a travel advisory warning Americans and Canadians to be wary of rising homicide numbers on the island are dissipating. Cooper says his ministry is preparing to launch a local campaign to remind Bahamians that tourism is everybody's business and that they must refrain from conduct that kills the goose which lays the golden eggs. Minister Cooper says an American Airlines flight from Miami to Governor's Harbor that arrived full, plus other recent flights that arrived at capacity, tell him that fares, which may have been stoked by the U.S. travel advisory, are abating. He says tourism stakeholders in the Bahamas have also expressed concern about the impact the travel advisory could have on their business. The Bahamas, with a population of about 400,000 people, saw 18 murders in the first 30 days this year.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected the terms of a ceasefire in Gaza proposed by Hamas. He has also rebuffed pressure from the United States to move more quickly towards a mediated settlement to the war. In a defiant statement, Netanyahu says there could be no solution to Israel's security issues except absolute victory over Hamas. Netanyahu also confirmed that the Israel Defense Forces have been instructed to start operations in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, where the population has been swelled by hundreds of thousands of displaced people. In a sharp rebuff to the Biden administration and the visiting U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Netanyahu says it will require months more fighting before Hamas was defeated.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network Limited, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making the nationwide news at this hour, Prime Minister Andrew Holness pushes back against U.S. advisory warning Americans about the dangers of traveling to Jamaica.
It is clear that based upon all the statistics that I have given you and the direction in which we are heading, the advisory is at variance with the statistics as the improvements are evident.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says opposition leader Mark Golding is a political dunce.
A lot of his people are telling me that
he's a political dunce.
Yes.
Counselor for the Papine Division, Venetia Phillips, files police report over perceived threat from a PNP supporter seen in a video with the PNP chairman, Dr. Angela Brown Burke. My name is George Davis.
And I'm Roby Ann Williams.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News Next headlines at 6.
Get connected to a deal you love this Valentine's with Flow. Sign up for Flow Yard and Road for the extra special price of only $3,999 plus GCT and get a free Samsung phone. Make a love connection and show how much you care. Visit discoverflow.co or Flow Store today. Conditions apply.
As a fitness guy, I was surprised by my chronic illness diagnosis. I thought working out harder would fix it, but it wasn't enough. Now, my prescription meds are a part of my routine.
When I got my diagnosis, I really felt down and stopped spending time with the people I love. Then I decided not to let any disease get the best of me. And I'm committed to taking my meds as prescribed. On time, every time.
No hesitation. Take your medication. A message from the NHF. NHF is here for health. NHF is here for you.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The Windward Islands Volcanoes were in total command at close to the end of day one of the regional 4-day game against the Jamaica Scorpions at Sabina Park. After bowling out the Jamaican team for 159, the Volcanoes are now 157 for 2, just 2 runs behind, close to the end of the day's play. Johan Jeremiah is not out on 67, and Sunil Amber's 29. They have so far put on 58 for the third wicket. Abhijay Man Singh and Summon, that's Pete Summon, got the wickets for the Jamaican Scorpions. Captain Kimani Melius, 35, also scored well. Earlier, Romain Morris, 35, and Pete Summon, 26, made most runs for the home team, as Ryan John bagged the 5 for 43 and Shamar Springer 3 for 53. There was no play at Shedwin Park, where the combined campuses and colleges team was scheduled to face the Barbados Pride. Nationwide Sports understands that water from a burst pipe left the playing area saturated and play was called off early. It's understood club officials are working to get play going tomorrow. Over at Connery in St. Kitts and Nevis, Jason Mohammed slammed the first century of the season to steer Trinidad and Tobago Red Force to 215 for 4 when bad light ended play early. Mohammed is not out exactly 100 with 10 fours, and he received support from Tion Webster, who made 50, as Ransford Baton ended with 2 for 53 and Veerasamy Permaul 2 for 40. And at the Warner Park ground, the West Indies Academy closed on 60 for 2. They're replying to 137 all-out made by the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. Mbeki Joseph is leading the reply with an unbeaten 30. Earlier, the Hurricanes lost the wickets steadily en route to their meager total, of which Jeremiah Louise made 45 and Terrence Ward 28. Joshua James bagged a 3 for 11, while there were 2 wickets each for Johan Lane, Naeem Young and Ashmi Ned. New Zealand thrashed South Africa by 281 runs on the final day of the first cricket test at Mount Maunganui. Kyle Jamieson 4 for 58 and Mitchell Santner 3 for 59 combined to help dismiss the South Africans for 247 after they were set a mammoth 528 to win. It was New Zealand's second biggest test win in terms of runs, and it would have been even wider had it not been for David Beddingham's counter-attacking 87 he got from 96 balls. Earlier, New Zealand expectedly declared their second innings overnight on 179 for 4, setting South Africa the improbable target. Captain Kane Williamson slammed 109 in that total against Neil Brand 2 for 52. It was Williamson's second century of the game, following up on his superb 118 in New Zealand's huge first innings total of 511. Rashin Ravindra clobbered 240 in that massive partnership with Williamson in the first innings. The Intersecondary School Sports Association, ISA, has announced that tickets for the 2024 Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships will go on sale this evening starting at 6. All tickets will be available online at www.tickets.isasport.com, all in lowercase. The costs of season tickets are $23,500 for premium and $20,500 for regular. Grandstand tickets will go for $1,000 on day 1, $2,500 on days 2 and 3, $4,500 on day 4, and $7,500 on day 5. The bleachers will be closed on day 1, but tickets for days 2 to 5 will go for $500, $1,000, $1,500, and $2,500 respectively. Access to the championship will be via a scanned QR code on the e-ticket, and patrons may present their QR code via the image on their mobile phones or printed copy of same. The 2024 Boys and Girls Athletics Championships will be held March 19 to 29 at the National Stadium. Chelsea advanced to the fifth round of the English FA Cup after a dominant 3-1 win over Leon Bailey's Aston Villa in their fourth round replay at Villa Park today. Bailey was substituted in the 88th minute as Villa succumbed to goals from Conor Gallagher, Nicholas Jackson and Enzo Fernandez.
He gets it across. UK Gallagher plants it in. First goal in the tie, and it's Chelsea's. Numbers in the box, and the 6,000 visiting fans are delighted with Chelsea's start here. Back off Gusto's cross, and it's knocked in for number 2, and Jackson in the middle. Great moment for him. Enzo Fernandez, like that, absolutely like that. Brilliant free kick. You don't see so many of them these days, but that flew into the top corner. Oh, and they have scored. Diaby.
Moussa Diaby getting the goal for Aston Villa. Chelsea, who advanced 3-1 on aggregate, will next face Leeds United in a fifth-round tie at Stamford Bridge. The Blues are also into the final of the Carabao Cup. That's sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. They almost always have it.
Hyundai, the home of modern premium affordable vehicles. Call us at 876-630-1511. The time by Hyundai is
5:30.
Love, care for, and protect our women and girls.
We are your family. We are your friends. Don't hurt us.
End violence against women and girls.
The temperature by the Office of the Prime Minister is
26 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 24 in the western city, Montego Bay.
Get connected to a deal you'll love this Valentine's with Flow. Sign up for Flow Yard and Road for the extra special price of only $3,999 plus GCT and get a free Samsung phone. Make a love connection and show how much you care. Visit discoverflow.co or Flow Store today. Conditions apply.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Jamaican people, JLP say building time. Anything less, we not pay them no mind. Building for you and your community. We will build up Jamaica by supporting good policies, yeah. Build a better life for you and for me. We'll keep building Jamaica, so vote for the JLP, yeah. Jamaica is a blessed island, and JLP are on a ceaseless mission of development all over the nation. Them upgrading the markets and fire stations. Them build the most roadways for we drive on, more than any government before on the island. Them build parks in the communities with better facilities for the children play fun with you.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Ready to level up your kitchen? Head over to Active Home Center now. Introducing Thor Kitchen Appliances, featuring the impressive 36-inch electric and gas range stove. Because when it comes to your kitchen, bigger is always better. And yes, there's a 30-inch option too. And for those who demand the best, don't miss out on our gas cooktops, available in both 36-inch and 30 inches. Choices to fit your style. But hold on, there's more. Transform your cooking space with Thor's range hoods, offering sleek aesthetics and exceptional functionality. Keep your kitchen fresh while you cook up a storm. Visit Active Home Center today in our Kingston location only and discover the world of Thor kitchen appliances. Powerful performance at a practical price.
Kindness is a language that the blind can see. On Friday, February 9, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Dr. Terry Carell Reed and the Digicel Foundation have partnered to extend an act of kindness when they provide over 100 Braille machines to the Salvation Army School for the Blind. Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the Salvation Army School for the Blind. We will cover this act of stewardship and warm your hearts as we interact with persons on the ground. That's a live broadcast during Cliff Hughes Online on Friday, February 9 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Digicel Foundation.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Campbell.
Good afternoon, Sir Hughes.
How are you?
Doing quite well. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow?
Nomination Day.
Oh, that business to take care of.
that very important business to take care of.
Well, what is it that we're likely to see?
I'm sure the parties are going to do their tours and make sure that their candidates are duly nominated. There might be some surprises, as I understand it. But I hope for a smooth, event-free day.
Yes, it should be largely incident-free. There are 228 divisions up for the election. So therefore, if we assume that the two major political parties will nominate a full slate, we're looking at 456.
Yes.
Right? Candidates, and I figure there will be a few independents. For example, in Southeast St. Anne, in the Benson division, we gather, is it the PNP candidate there? Some time ago, the councillor, she is likely to be nominated in the Benson division. I gather from my sources that there could be some surprises in Northeast St. Anne, in the Ocherius division. There could be a surprise nomination and return of a political veteran, yeah. And there are a few others that, there could be surprises.
Well, I'm sure tongues will be wagging before the day is done.
Yeah, so that's tomorrow morning, yeah. The EOJ says it's fully ready. Mm-hmm.
As they should be. They've had quite a few years to prepare.
Yeah. And tomorrow is the 8th, and then the elections will be the 26th.
The 26th.
18 days later. So, let us see. Yeah. But the campaign, yeah, we haven't had much in terms of focusing on local government issue, save and except the governing party. The governing party has been focusing on local issues.
Well, I understand that the PNP says after nomination day, they'll roll out their official message and campaign.
On local government?
Yes.
Okay, let us see. But did you hear that interview this morning? This morning with Delroy Chuck?
Yes. Minister Chuck has always been a very plain-speaking person.
Well, I tell you, Siobhan, when I heard him use the term a political dunce, I was stunned. Yeah? So I had to ask him again whether that was what you're saying. He said yes.
And he didn't back down from the comment.
Said, absolutely. Wow. Well. Does the argument have merit? You don't say it. We wouldn't use such charged terms.
Definitely not.
Right.
We'll leave that to the politicians to hammer that out.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's go to the cover story. Prime Minister Holness says a recent travel advisory issued by the U.S. State Department shows that the perception of crime in Jamaica differs from reality. A Level 3 advisory was issued by the U.S. on January 23, urging Americans to reconsider traveling to Jamaica due to high crime and inadequate medical services.
The advisory says violent crimes such as home invasions, armed robberies, sexual assaults, and homicides in Jamaica are common. It also warns about inadequate standards for emergency services and hospital care on the island. But the Prime Minister says the advisory does not reflect reality.
Though the rates of crime are declining, sadly, the perception has not moved in the same positive direction. Many Jamaicans feel the level of crime is still high, despite them not being a victim of crime themselves. But I should rephrase that. I feel the level of crime is still too high. However, we should note that a recent lap-up survey of 20 countries within the region showed that Jamaica has one of the highest expressed concern about crime, meaning that the fear of crime, one of the highest expressed. But Jamaica has the lowest victimization rate in the region. In effect, how people feel about crime versus what they experience, two different things. So they do feel threatened, but when you ask them, have you been a victim? No. A real paradox, but we can seek to explore that a little bit. But now is a good time to talk about perceptions versus reality. So, in the view of the recent US travel advisory, it is clear that based upon all the statistics that I have given you and the direction in which we are heading, that the advisory is at variance with the statistics as the improvements are evident, certainly in terms of what we're doing with crime, violence, and safety. So as governments and law enforcement personnel are present here, the challenge for us is to come up with strategies as well as to how we close the gap between how persons feel and the reality, especially in the age of social media and its impact on perception. This is not to dismiss the concerns that people have about their safety and about crime. There are two things that we should pay attention to when we talk about the perception issue. The first is that we must recognize that in any perception evaluation, there is a lag time for change. In marketing, you have this concept of cognitive consonance and cognitive dissonance. The perception of a value or a product versus what the real value of the product is when you go to consume it. And so for your cognition to change, it takes a little time. And the lag time is a function of how fast we can get policy effective and then the information about the effectiveness of the policy to the people.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. He says the country recorded its lowest crime rate in almost 2 decades last year.
In 2023, Jamaica saw a reduction in all major crimes, with murders down by 7.8%, shootings down approximately 6%, and rape, robbery, and break-ins down between 12 and 17%. In fact, in 2023, Jamaica recorded its lowest level of crime in more than 22 years. That reduction has continued in 2024, and I gave instructions that I should not say what the reduction is for our visiting friends. The locals understand why we say this, but for our visiting friends, there is a sense, well, not a sense, the truth of the fact is that organized crime in Jamaica operates with a certain level of intelligence. They are deliberate about spreading fear. It is a form of terrorism. We call it criminal terrorism. That's what they're designed to do. And we have seen from court records, statements from persons interdicted that gang leaders have seen murder rates in particular localities falling and complain that that should not be the case, and have given instructions that the murder rate should be increased. That's the kind of criminal mind that we're dealing with. We haven't done the statistical research on it, but as we were talking about algorithms and patterns, we noticed the pattern. that each time the government comes out and celebrates a reduction, it is premature. And we have to wonder, and study it probably more than wonder, why this is so. But then again, that's just anecdotal. And this progress reflects the government's commitment to bolstering national security through policy direction, legislative changes, and the allocation of the requisite financial resources. The reduction in crime is also attributable to the strategic initiatives and approaches taken to improve citizen security and public safety since this administration's taking over of the security situation of the country in 2016.
That's Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaking at the National Security Seminar held at the AC Hotel by Marriott in St. Andrew. We'll take a break and bring you more from his presentation.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
5:45.
The Bureau of Standards Jamaica Quality Institute is the national training agency for quality and standards that provides industry training to transform your organization. Access critical information and training solutions to propel you to business success. Your employee is your organization's greatest asset. Strengthen employee competence, increase operational efficiency, and build capacity for sustainable growth and development. Experience industry training like no other. Training programs include food safety management, quality management systems, cybersecurity, and many more. We customize our training to meet your needs. For more information, visit our website at www.bsj.org.jm. The Quality Institute, Bureau of Standards Jamaica, committed to quality and standards.
Outperform, outlast, with top performance, Chakama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Part select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Jamaican people, JLP say building time. Anything less, we not pay them no mind. Building for you and your community. We will build up Jamaica by supporting good policies, yeah. Build a better life for you and for me. We'll keep building Jamaica. So vote for the JLP, yeah. Jamaica is a blessed island, and JLP are on a ceaseless mission of development all over the nation. Them upgrading the markets and fire stations. Them build the most roadways to be drive on, more than any government before on the island. Them build parks in the communities with better facilities, with the children play fun with you.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Good afternoon. You're still in the cover story as we listen to the Prime Minister speaking at the National Security Seminar this afternoon, talking about crime in Jamaica, the perception versus the reality. While he notes that crime has been going down, however, he does note that crimes have been getting more gruesome.
I said this before, that on New Year's Day, New Year's Eve night, rather, I attended an event, and a lady stopped me, and she said, "Prime Minister, you have to do something about the crime, you have to do something about the murders." And I briefly tried to tell her all the things we were doing and that murders were down. And after I've said all of that to her, she said, "Prime Minister, you have to do something about the crime, you have to do something about the murders." Nothing that I had said had gotten through to her. But think about it. We got the figures that murders were down. But this is at the end of the year. it will take at least 2 or 3 months for the population to appreciate and believe that it was actually done. So it will take some time, Commissioner, for the good work that you are doing to be realized. But there's also another problem, and that is crimes have gotten more gruesome. So when you look at the murder statistics, you will realize that from one shooting event, you are seeing many more multiple murders than before, particularly last year and the year before. Then you're beginning to see the gruesome nature of it. Not that we have had more children killed than any particular point in time, but when it gets into the media of an 8-year-old throat slash and all of these kinds of gruesome murders, it does have an impact, a psychological impact. But the other challenge is that violence has increased in the society.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he says criminal organizations must not benefit from government contracts. He noted that the government will not be negotiating with gangs.
To bring the nation to an understanding that yes, citizen-to-citizen crime and violence challenges public safety. But when it gets to a level where it is coordinated and organized, it is more than just a citizen-to-citizen threat. It now becomes a threat to the state, a threat to the ability of the state to guarantee the safety and security of the citizens. And that is where we are now. We are very close in distance to Haiti, and we look on at what is happening in Haiti. Clearly, it's a whole different situation. Jamaica is in a much stronger institutional situation. But if you look at what has happened in Haiti, you recognize that if we don't take a national security prism to the problem, you are looking at what the gangs could evolve to. Or look at El Salvador. You can see how the gangs have evolved, where the state at some point in time previously had to negotiate with them. We have made it clear we are not propping up any dons to negotiate peace with them. That's a false security. They must have no legitimacy whatsoever, and the state mustn't give them any by negotiating with them, which is why I have made it public in the strongest terms that criminal gangs must not benefit in any way from government contracts. In fact, we have now sent out CAPSEC, I don't know if it has gone out yet, but to the public entities that they must do thorough, fit and proper review of any entity that wants to do business with government.
Prime Minister Holness, he also announced that the government is moving to purchase a state-of-the-art radar system to improve surveillance of the country's coasts. He says Jamaica must take responsibility for its own security.
The government of Jamaica has taken instrumental steps to bring the crime problem under control. We recognize that there are still many gaps. One of them, which I will focus on as I close, is the ability of the state to control the inflow of illegal guns into Jamaica. It is a problem for us to control our borders. We have made massive investments in offshore patrol vessels and maritime patrol aircraft. It is paying off quite nicely. Almost every week, the Chief of Defense Staff sends me some contraband interdicted in our waters. And whenever we interdict drugs, we know that we have stopped some guns because it is a flow. We are now making investments in securing our ports with appropriate scanners. That process has taken far too long. We have some scanning capabilities. We are supported by our friends from the United States, but we need to do far more in terms of investment in that capability, particularly at our airports. It shouldn't be that at our formal ports of entry, weapons are coming in. But as an island, you know that we have several informal points of entry, and it's going to be difficult to control all of them, but we are increasing our surveillance, including making significant investment in a state-of-the-art radar system, coastal radar system. Not saying anything more about it. But we're doing what is necessary. But we could do with some help from our friends from the United States, because what we are seeing is a change in the profile of weapons coming into Jamaica.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness at a national security seminar today, and speaking about our friends of the United States, the U.S. State Department or the U.S. Embassy has issued this afternoon, an update to the comments triggered by its recent travel advisory of January 23, 2024 about traveling to Jamaica. It has been coming under criticism for that travel advisory. Well, we just received this. The U.S. State Department says its priority is the safety and security of U.S. citizens overseas. The department says it is obligated to provide information to U.S. citizens traveling or residing abroad through travel advisories. These advisories, it says, are aimed at helping people assess the risks of international travel and understand what steps to take to ensure their safety overseas.
The State Department says its release was a routine one and that it provided an analytical update on medical services and it was not timed with any other issue. It says the level of its travel advisory did not change with this update and has remained at level 3, the same level it has been since March 2022.
The update incorporated analysis of accidents, illnesses, and deaths of U.S. citizens based on a review of health services and the medical care received when U.S. citizens are hospitalized. It says Jamaica is and will continue to be a major tourist destination for U.S. citizens. We will continue, says the U.S. State Department, to work with the Jamaican government and local partners to serve the interests of U.S. citizens and promote the well-being of Jamaicans. Well, that's the word from the U.S. State Department this afternoon, because it is feeling the pushback from the Jamaican authorities. The Prime Minister, leading hotelier Adam Stewart, pushing back, and Jamaicans pushing back as well. Two things to note. I have no problem with the U.S. advising its citizens because Jamaica is, plagued with violent crimes. The reality, though, is we do not hurt tourists in Jamaica. We don't rob, we don't kill tourists here. That's a fact. And two, it's high time that the Jamaican government protect its citizens who travel to the United States by warning them of the risk of traveling to the United States. You may very well be the victim if you go. We love to shop when we go to America. Be careful when you go to those places to shop. You might be the victim of a mass shooter. That is prevalent in America. Yes, we don't have that in Jamaica. So the U.S. is quite right to advise its citizens. The Jamaican government should also advise its citizens. Please be careful when you go to America. Be aware of your surroundings. Because you could become the victim of a mass shooter.
I don't know if the Jamaican government would be so
brave?
inclined. Brave is probably the right word.
Why not?
Well, we have to see the realities in terms of diplomatic
thousands
power.
of Jamaicans travel to the U.S. every year. And going to the U.S., is a risk. A real risk of you being shot at random, by a mass shooter. Is that a fact?
This is true.
Okay.
And I would ignore the hypocrisy in it, but diplomatic power is diplomatic power.
What is power here? How you define power here?
In terms of the ability, the weight of the nation's ability to enforce its will. And we have to accept that.
No,
That
it's
is a
not about
lopsided
enforcing
situation.
a will. No, and that's why it's called an advisory. You can either accept and act accordingly or disregard the advisory. The U.S. is not enforcing its will here. The U.S. is doing its job as a sovereign country to protect its citizens. Yes? And it has issued an advisory to Americans. And it is well within its right because there's a basis for that. Yes? What I'm saying, why don't we
should follow suit?
Yes. Issue an advisory when, not only to the U.S., wherever you're going. Yeah? And if there's need, there's a basis, as there is. If you travel to the United States, yeah, chances are you could be killed, injured, shot, yeah, in a mass shooting incident, which is a real problem in America.
A very real concern, yes.
Exactly. Why should we hesitate to do that? That's a cover story. The headlines are next.
Say hello to peace of mind and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan and secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness today. Call 888-367-5433 for details.
The time by Guardian Life is
6:01.
Upgrade your kitchen and bathroom to the next level with Unique Living. They're the ultimate destination for all your kitchen and bathroom needs, from luxurious shower systems to exquisite faucets, vanities, sinks, toilets, closets, and more. They have it all. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call them at 876-755-3661. Elevate your space with Unique Living, where quality meets expectations.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Shalois Michael. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the recent advisory issued by the U.S. State Department urging Americans to reconsider travel to Jamaica is a proof that the perception of crime in Jamaica differs from the reality.
A recent LAPOP survey of 20 countries within the region showed that Jamaica has one of the highest expressed concern about crime, meaning that the fear of crime, one of the highest expressed. But Jamaica has the lowest victimization rate in the region. In effect, how people feel about crime versus what they experience, two different things. So they do feel threatened, but when you ask them, have you been a victim? No.
Mr. Holness says the country's security experts must do a better job communicating information about the country's improvements where the management of violent crime is concerned.
In the view of the recent U.S. travel advisory, it is clear that based upon all the statistics that I have given you and the direction in which we are heading, that the advisory is at variance with the statistics as the improvements are evident, certainly in terms of what we're doing with crime, violence, and safety. So as governments and law enforcement personnel are present here, the challenge for us is to come up with strategies as well as to how we close the gap between how persons feel and the reality, especially in the age of social media and its impact on perception.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he was speaking at a national security seminar on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson shared the data at the seminar, which he says proves that the incidence of crime perpetrated against foreign nationals is negligible.
I wanted to raise this point because we did some further analysis, and when it gets down to our visitors to the island, last year we had 4.15 million visitors. This is of all nationalities. of which largely 75% tend to be US citizens. So when we start to do the overall crime rate for visitors, that's all crime, we are seeing a 26 per million incidents. When we looked at it for the actual homicide rate for our visitors, it's more like 2.3 per million visitors.
The police chief says statistics also show a relatively low incidence of murders perpetrated against the majority of Jamaicans. He says this supports the Prime Minister's argument that the perception of crime in Jamaica is at odds with the reality.
The homicide rate in Jamaica last year was 46 per 100,000. For the majority of the population in Jamaica, it is who are not in the ecosystem of organized violence, that drops to 4.3 per 100,000. For a visitor to the island, that then drops to 2.3 per million. So it's significantly less. And I think it's important because it's consistent with, I think, the point that the Prime Minister was making, that we as a country have to manage two things, the reality, but also the perception and how people feel about these things.
Major General Anthony Anderson, Commissioner of Police. A political dunce. That's how Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has described opposition leader Mark Golding over his declaration that the upcoming local government elections are a referendum on the Holness administration.
I have never seen such political dunce as a leader of the opposition to put this as a referendum on the government. If you had any good sense, you leave it to community matters, no? But this is the best performing government in the history of this country, and the people know it. Yes, we have some problems to resolve. We have many roads that need to be fixed, many people that need water, many people who are still in poverty. But they can see that this government is getting things done, that the ministers are working hard, that we have a prime minister who is the most hard-working prime minister this country has ever seen. And they love him. So,
did you just say we have never seen an opposition leader as dunce politically as this one?
Absolutely.
Mr. Chuck says his view of the opposition leader is shared by others in the PNP.
A lot of his people are telling me that.
That he's a political dunce?
Yes. How could he do that?
Oh.
And that is why you have more and more comrades coming across. I have one of my political who ran against me, so she voting for me in this election. I said, why? I have to vote for you. A lot of comrades across the country realize that time come for some people to go.
Among those people?
The leadership, the present leadership of the PNP, who can't be trusted, who have divided the People's National Party, who have sidelined some of their best members.
Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice. He was speaking on Cliff Hughes Online on Wednesday. Senior strategist in the Ministry of Tourism, Delano Seaveright, says the ministry is working to restore the damage caused by strong storm surges which hit parts of Negril, Ocho Rios, and Montego Bay on Monday.
There was some minor damage and some infrastructure issues as it relates to the very rough waves that impacted the island. We had some issues in Negril. We did have some minor damage in Montego Bay at a number of establishments. And we did have issues, of course, in the Ocho Rios area. And we know that the Port Authority of Jamaica has been on top of the issues with Ocho Rios. There are some issues that we know the National Works Agency will be looking at, certainly in Negril, as it relates to the West End Road in particular. Outside of disruptions with beaches and beach-related activities, the rest of it is pretty much minimal or resolvable in the space of days, maybe a few weeks.
Mr. Seaveright says the ministry has already contacted the affected stakeholders to discuss the restoration and repair agenda.
We have been in touch with a number of stakeholders in the entertainment and the hotel and the broader accommodation spaces, especially, of course, establishments located along the coastline who were terribly inconvenienced and clearly have a number of issues to sort through as it relates to the water damage that was caused. But they are all confident that they will be up and running in no time and that they will be back to regular business in very short order.
Delana Seaveride, Senior Strategist in the Ministry of Tourism. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Shalois Michael. Sports is next.
Live exquisite this year with new arrival black and chrome fixtures for your home at Unique Living. Select from a wide variety of rain shower systems, fabulous faucets, and stylish sinks to suit your kitchen and bathrooms. Get uncompromised quality and style unique to you. Shop everything new at Unique Living, Jamaica's leading shower and faucets provider. Visit shop number 630 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call 876-755-3661 to 2.
This is an important announcement from the National Water Commission. The National Water Commission is advising that regrettably it has been forced to suspend water supply in sections of St. Andrew due to the development of a major leak on the 16-inch cross-country transmission pipeline in the vicinity of Huntston Spring Road. An assessment of the damage is now complete and emergency repair work has begun. The NWC expects to restore water supply within the next 12 to 24 hours. The impacted areas are Norbrook, Cherry Gardens, Russell Heights, sections of Barbican, Jacks Hill, Millsboro, and areas off Constant Spring Road, Charlton Avenue, Whitford Drive, Temple Mead, Pinckney's Green, Kinsale Avenue, Cookham Dean, Braywick Avenue, Bracknell Avenue, Hyperion Avenue, Farrington Drive, Farringdon Heights, Ridgeway, Ridgeway Terrace, Road Dean Close, River Ridge, Short Ridge Drive and Avenue, Wilmington Drive, Millsboro Avenue and Crescent, Plymouth Avenue, Dorley Boulevard, and Whitcomb Heights. The NWC wishes to assure customers that storage levels at the Hermitage Dam and Mona Reservoir are at 100% and every effort is being made to ensure that water is restored in the shortest possible time. In the meantime, affected customers are encouraged to carefully manage stored water. Persons in need of trucked water may make a request by contacting the NWC's toll-free number 888-225-5692 or email at customercare@nwc.com.jm. The NWC sincerely apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused and thanks them for their patience and understanding. That was an important announcement from the National Water Commission.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Jamaican people, JLP say building time. Anything less, we not pay them no mind. Building for you and your community. We will build up Jamaica by supporting good policies, yeah. Build a better life for you and for me. We'll keep building Jamaica. So vote for the JLP, yeah. Jamaica is a blessed island, and JLP are on a ceaseless mission of development all over the nation. Them upgrading the markets and fire stations. Them build the most roadways for we drive on, more than any government before on the island. Them build parks in the communities with better facilities, with the children play fun with you.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. The Windward Islands Volcanoes were in total control at close on day one of the regional four-day game against the Jamaica Scorpions at Sabina Park. After bowling out the Jamaicans for 159, the Volcanoes reached 157 for 2 at close, just 2 runs behind, with Johan Jeremiah not out 66 and Sunil Ambris 30 Abijay Mansing and Pete Salmon got the wickets for the Jamaica Scorpions. Captain Kimani Milius, 35, also scored well for the Volcanoes. Earlier, Romain Morris, 35, and Pete Salmon, 26, made most runs for the home team, as Ryan John bagged the 5 for 43 and Shamar Springer 3 for 53. There was no play at Shedwin Park, where the combined campuses and colleges team was scheduled to face the Barbados Pride. Nationwide Sports understands the water from a burst pipe left the playing area saturated and play was called off early. It's understood the club officials are working to get play going tomorrow. Over at Connery in St. Kitts and Nevis, Jason Mohammed slammed the first century of the season to steer Trinidad and Tobago Red Force to 215 for 4 when Bad Light ended play early. Mohammed is not out exactly 100 with 10 fours. He received the support from Tion Webster, who made 50, as Ransford Beaton ended with 2 for 53 and Veerasamy Permaul 2 for 40. Over at Warner Park, the West Indies Academy closed on 60 for 2, and they're replying to a 137 all-out made by the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. And Becky Joseph is leading the reply with an unbeaten 30. Earlier, the Hurricanes lost wickets steadily en route to their meager total, of which Jeremiah Louis made 45 and Terrence Ward made 28. Joshua James bagged a 3 for 11, while there were 2 wickets each for Johan Lane, Naeem Young, and Ashmead Ned. New Zealand thrashed South Africa by 281 runs on the final day of the first cricket test at Mount Maunganui today. Kyle Jamieson, 4 for 58, and Mitchell Santner, 3 for 59, combined to help dismiss the South Africans for 247 after they were set a mammoth 528 runs to win. It was New Zealand's second biggest test win in terms of runs, and it would have been even wider had it not been for David Beddingham's counter-attacking 87 of 96 deliveries. Earlier, New Zealand expected they'll declare their second innings overnight on 179 for 4, setting South Africa the improbable target. Captain Kane Williamson slammed his second century of the game. He made 109, and this to go along with a superb 118 in the first innings. The public ticket ballot for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 is set to close today, later tonight that is, with fans encouraged to apply now to ensure the best possible chance of securing seats to their preferred games. The Men's T20 World Cup 2024 continues to make history in the lead up to the 9th edition of the globally anticipated tournament set for June 1 to 29 in the West Indies and the USA. Almost 4 million ticket applications have been submitted to date, and that number is expected to rise before the deadline closes. Media operations manager for the tournament, Philip Spooner, says fans from around the world and in the USA and the Caribbean are encouraged to apply for tickets before the ballot ends.
It's about showcasing that there's a lot of interest, and tickets start at $6, and so there'll be a large amount of tickets that would be priced rather on the low spectrum. So we want to get everybody into the grounds. We want to fill the stadiums. We want to demonstrate that cricket is growing and that the world can participate in this event. And as proud West Indians, we all want to be part of it. We want to show the world that we are there and ready and able and capable of putting on this magnificent event.
So the ballot is not a first-come, first-served system, and all applicants within the 7-day window will have an equal chance of obtaining tickets. Spooner says entering the ballot is the best opportunity for fans to get tickets to the games they want, at the venues they want, and for the ticket category they desire.
The allocation of seats will be made, and you will then get a follow-up email indicating that you've been successful in the ballot and you would have be able to secure a seat, and then you obviously will pay. After that, you pay for the seat. So it's a process, but it's part of a global norm in international sport. So it's something that obviously as Caribbean people we might not be used to, but it's something we try to get accustomed to for events of this nature. And I'm happy that people of the West Indies that they understand the processes and that they have participated meaningfully.
Applications have come in from over 160 countries, and of nearly 4 million applications received, a significant number have come from the Americas. Pune says within 7 to 10 days of the ballot closure, successful applicants will receive an email notifying them of what matches they have secured tickets to and will be provided with a link through which payment will need to be made.
You could go in for 6 tickets in one application, and then, as I said, you'll be notified of your success, receive your tickets, and then obviously you'll make your purchases online. We wanted a situation where our spectators, our fans, the ones who really contribute so magnificently for the game. You know, without fans, there's no sport. Sport is for the fans. We want to support and encourage our fans to get involved, and we want to, wherever we can, facilitate them getting into those stadiums and rallying around the West Indies first and foremost, but then also support what will be a magnificent Caribbean event.
Yeah, that's Philip Spooner. Chelsea advanced to the fifth round of the English FA Cup after a dominant 3-1 win over Leon Bailey's Aston Villa in their fourth round replay at Villa Park today. Bailey was substituted on minute 88 as Villa succumbed to goals from Conor Gallagher, Nicholas Jackson and Enzo Fernandez.
He gets it across. Gallagher plants it in. First goal in the tie, and it's Chelsea's. Numbers in the box, and the 6,000 visiting fans are delighted with Chelsea's start here. Back off Gusto's cross, and it's knocked in for number 2, and Jackson in the middle. Great moment for him. Enzo Fernandez, like that, absolutely like that. Brilliant free kick. You don't see so many of them these days, but that flew into the top corner. Oh, and they have scored. Diaby.
Chelsea will advance 3-1 on aggregate, will next face Leeds United in a fifth-round tie at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are also into the final of the Carabao Cup. Former champions Nigeria and Ivory Coast are through to the final of the African Cup of Nations after contrasting semi-final wins in Abidjan today. The Super Eagles of Nigeria beat South Africa 4-2 on penalties in the first semi-final, which ended 1-1 after regular time, while host the Côte d'Ivoire needed a 65th-minute goal from the Borussia Dortmund striker Sebastian Haller to defeat the DR Congo 1-0. The final will be played on Sunday at the Alassane Ouattara Stadium in Abidjan, while South Africa will square off with the DR Congo in the third-place playoff at the same stadium on the Saturday. Jamaican Esport racers Jaden Harrison and Joshua Brady made their international debut on the iRacing platform in style. Harrison finished second overall in round 2 of the Esport Ukraine Dow GT3 Solar Endurance Series event, while Brady finished 13th after having to overcome 2 drive-through penalties during the race at the weekend. The event marked the start of Jamaica's international participation in iRacing events recognized by the FIA as a governing body for motorsport, and it came on the day following the announcement of the JMMC's partnership with the FIA and Jamaica Simulated Racing Association. Harrison's podium finish has placed him 20th in the DAU GT3 Series Championship, with Brady in 24th position, both racers having missed round 1 of the 6-round series. That's sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:21.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, is a financial reporting firm that delivers accounting and compliance services on time. Call us today at 876-908-0486-7. Email us at clientservices@cocnjamaica.com or visit our website at www.cocnjamaica.com. COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Know your numbers and take control of your life. Don't wait till it's too late. Check your doctor today. Yeah. Get the BMI check, your blood pressure check, your blood sugar and cholesterol check. We're living well when we stay on top of our health. Know your numbers and take control of your life. Don't wait till it's too late. Check your doctor today. Know your numbers and take control of your life.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The two main political parties are hunting for votes ahead of the local government elections. The PMP says time come.
This will be a referendum on this government. This will be an earthquake for the Labour Party government.
While the JLP says it's building communities.
There has never been a government of Jamaica that has had so many achievements to go and face the people with.
But how do the voters see it? Well, the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools will tell us. Is there daylight between Golding's PMP and Holness's JLP? Who do the people trust more to manage their local affairs? The stakes are high. There's everything to play for. Who will get the nod? Your authority on politics nationwide 90 FM has the numbers. Join us starting at 6 a.m. on Nomination Day, Thursday, February 8, for all the results. That's the Nationwide Blue Dot Polls, powered by Total Tools on Nationwide 90 FM. Your revolution in media.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robianne Williams, a special one going to our friends on our YouTube platform. Big up on yourself. We invite you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion. Nomination Day is February 8th. Yep, that's tomorrow. That's like the official on your mark and get set to go to the polls in the local government elections on Monday, February 26th. Now, both political parties, the governing JLP and the opposition, PNP, are in high gear. We've seen the videos, heard the sound bites, members and supporters of the parties out in their numbers, walking, driving in motorcades, and canvassing the communities across the 228 divisions. With all the fanfare and excitement leading up to D-Day on February 26, there's an important aspect to the voting process, and that's finding your polling division. There are many. So finding your polling division, you need to know this before the day. So in Public Opinion today, we're asking you, do you know your polling division for local government election day?
Yes, man. I must know that, boss. I know exactly where it is. Yeah, man. I know, man.
If I tell you, say I know, I'll be lying. I don't know if it's a PD 1, PD 2, PD 3. I don't know. But I know exactly where I go now. That I'm sure.
Yep. I mean, there are locations, but there are different polling divisions. You know, you have to get that right, and you have to know this before the day. It makes the process easier and smooth for you, the voters. So if you're just joining us, we're inside the Court of Public Opinion. The question we're putting to you, do you know your polling division for local government election day? Going to the comments on our Facebook platform, Philip Jackson says, what you don't know, just ask questions and you will get the answer. People will find anything they're interested in. And that is true. But in order for you to, the voting process for you to go smoothly, before the day, you need to find out where your polling division, or it's an advice that I would give to find out where your polling division is. Beverly Barrett says yes, her polling division is Sherwood. Nikki Becky says yes. Let me see. Wesley Cunningham saying yes, and Angela Gordon also saying yes, that they know to find their polling division. They know how to find their polling division. Let me see if I can get in the comments on our Instagram platform. D Fashion says, yes, I do. Same place it has been every time there is a local government or general election. But yes, of course. But for the new voters, I assume we'll have new voters, of course. It's important to know where your polling division is. Let me see if I can get in. Dre Smith says, yes, I do. In fact, it's Bogue Hill All-Age School. And that's what I was looking for you to tell me where, where. All right, but let me get, Jet Slate says, it has never charged and I vote in every election, 18. And I'm not sure what that answer is about. Slimmer, see, you have a newcomer. Slimmer says, no, I was just added to the voters list. So you have newcomers to the voters list and they don't know how to find their polling division. C says, I don't even know who, okay? I don't even know who either party's candidate, who they be. Ask anyone who live in St. James who the mayor of Montego Bay is and they're not able to tell you. Wow. All right. I don't know about that, everyone, Sisu, Jamaica. But we're here to tell you that you need to know your polling division. So, according to the EOJ, you can go on the EOJ's website. That's ecj.com.jm. Just some information for those of you in the hearing of my voice. Go on the EOJ's website, and this is to assist you to know your polling division, where to go to vote, because there's several polling divisions in each of the divisions, if you understand. So you'll see, go on the website, ecj.com.jm. You'll see the heading Voters, and there will be a drop-down box. I did it not too long ago, and it was quite simple. You click the subheading that says Voting Procedures, and it will take you to a page. Now, it tells you to be sure, like I've been saying, be sure that you find out exactly where you're to vote before Election Day, the specific polling station and the polling division. You can call or visit the EOJ constituency office or call the toll-free helpline 888-991-8683. Also, you can use the EOJ's Check My Status feature. I did it just now. Check My Status feature on their website, and there's a link on the same page that will take you to the Check My Status feature. Indeed, and that's how you will, find your polling division in order to know where you should go to vote. And it's important because you don't want the day you run up and down, you don't know which path to go. You go at this polling division, them tell you no, over this. So go at that polling division, them tell you no, go over this one. You just run up and down. And it so happen that you're going to get for vote. And you want to vote, right? You want to exercise your right to vote. If you're just joining us, we're inside the Court of Public Opinion. We're asking, do you know your polling division for local government election day? That's D-Day, February 26, 2024, on our YouTube platform. Let me go get some more. Carlene Smith says, I was thinking about how persons in those cold countries manage in their... Okay, that's not a part of the public opinion question, but good afternoon, good evening rather, to you, Carlene Smith. Lily White says, if you don't, you sure will when the day come. And that is true. But you know what? I feel run up and down all over the place. Barbara Ellington says, mine is at our community center. I'm being told that most of the schools also. Let me see if I can get in some more. Barbara Ellington says, efficient candidates drop off the info before the day. That's true. I was told that there are candidates, there are caretakers candidates who would put an information sheet in people's mailbox. Yes, they would put some information sheet in your mailbox. I've never had that happen to me specifically, but I am being told that, they will go around and put these information sheets in your mailbox. So you can also check your mailbox too. Yes, indeed. Check your mailbox. Grace Bailey says, yes, I do know where my polling division is. It's King Weston Primary and Infant School. There you have it. Most of the schools. Community centers as well. Lorraine Young says, mine is New Day Junior High. Yeah, man. Know your polling division before the day. It assists you in the process. Valerie Smythe says, I know my location. I don't know the PD though. You can go, like I was saying, you can go on the EOJ's website and you will see the voting procedures. You will see voters as a heading, and you will see a subheading saying voting procedures. And you can check your status on the Check My Status feature on the website. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. I did it just now, and you can know where your polling division is before the day. Killian Henry says, if mine even don't hell, me I find it. I don't ramp with my vote, I have some people who are serious about them vote, but take them vote serious. If Shanae says, do they want to know their counselors? Yeah. Sherland Christie says, mine is at Sangster Heights Basic School. Angela Jones says, I know where mine is and I'm ready and waiting. Karkeen Heslop says, if you don't know, check with the outdoor agent. You can also do that. There are outdoor agents there to assist you as it relates to voting. And Marlene P says, I know where to vote. That's good. That is great. Let me see if I can get in some more. Here. Yes. Let me see. Jacqueline Thomas, good afternoon to you. Good evening, rather. Ozra Walker says, Papine High School. That's where I'm voting. You know, it's the election period. Tomorrow is nomination day, February 8th, and the local government elections on February 26, 2024. So exercise your right if you need, if you see the need to, indeed. Thank you so much for participating in Public Opinion. Do stay tuned for the business report.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Persons who intend to promote any kind of gambling activity must apply to the BGLC for approval. For more information, call 876-630-1353. The time by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission is
6:34. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Strain IQ has won the Jamaica Stock Exchange 2024 Venture Capital Pitch Room. The company was awarded $500,000 at the JSC's recent staging of its 19th Regional Investments and Capital Markets Conference. Strain IQ is a company with a track and trace software for legal cannabis cultivators, processors, and retailers designed to meet the Cannabis Licensing Authority requirements. Now, the company registered in December 30, 2022 and started operating September 2023. Further afield, 3 U.S. media giants have announced a new sports streaming platform to be launched in September. Walt Disney's ESPN, Fox Corp and Warner Bros. Discovery own a wide range of portfolios of sports rights, including those for the FIFA World Cup, Formula One, NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball. They hope to capture younger audiences and save costs. The service would have a new brand with an independent management team, which would be available via a new app. Its pricing will be announced at a later date. Now, the firms say each company will own 1/3 of the joint venture and have equal board representation. The announcement comes as sports leagues charge more for broadcasting rights. And finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 157 Jamaican dollars and 14 cents to buy $1, 197 Jamaican dollars and 14 cents to buy £1, and 116 Jamaican dollars and 68 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
Are you tired of holding back on her heart's desires? Chris and Charles can make it happen. Indulge in the things you both love and laugh while doing it. Our low interest rates and processing fees will make your special day a reality. Love, laugh, and shop with Chris and Charles. Call 876-920-4189 or WhatsApp 876-838-9028 for loan options. Conditions apply. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Lord, me can go get ready for go vote here now. Me can't believe it's 7 years now since local government election no keep. I wonder if Maureen she ready. Maureen! Maureen, oi! Come on, man. Me want go catch down a polling station before the line get long, you know.
We not tapping eyes. You come on me here before morning with the politics. Me not vote no local government election. It don't make no sense. And the council them can 7-11.
No, Maureen, don't do it. Local government election important. Are them responsible for repair the road them, you know? Clean the drain them and the gully them, Maureen. Take care of market where you go every Saturday. Are them responsible for provide the poor relief, Maureen? So whether you're PMP or JLP or any other P, your vote important.
But so what you say? You know that me vote for the MP for 2020. Me can't bother the bag of election, you know.
No, Maureen. MP got parliament go pass law for the country. And the council of them got the municipal corporation go represent with specific community. Yeah.
Let me go for my voters' ID, yeah? This a local government, you can't miss me.
Local government elections provide an opportunity for citizens to determine who will represent them at the municipal level. These elections are important. It's everybody's business. Get involved, make a plan, choose the best path forward for your community. Vote in the upcoming local government elections.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Marlon Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we're all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
Taboo topics, bulletins after dark,
riveting discussions,
celebrity news and interviews,
topics that are shunned by society,
and everything else in between.
Boyatings After Dark with Kareem Boyatings each and every Wednesday, 8 to 11 p.m.
Boyatings After Dark.
No topic is too taboo or hard to discuss. Come get your mind blown and your curiosity explored.
Boyatings After Dark.
Kindness is a language that the blind can see. On Friday, February 9, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Dr. Terry Carell Reid and the Digicel Foundation have partnered to extend an act of kindness when they provide over 100 Braille machines to the Salvation Army School for the Blind. Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we broadcast live from the Salvation Army School for the Blind. We will cover this act of stewardship and warm your hearts as we interact with persons on the ground. That's a live broadcast during Cliff Hughes Online on Friday, February 9 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Digicel Foundation.
As we grow older, there are many challenges that we have to confront, but these years can represent the best in our lives. Coming of Age during Nationwide This Morning on Thursdays explores issues persons 50 and over confront. It also provides expert opinions on how we can improve the quality of our lives as we get older. That's Coming of Age, this and every Thursday during Nationwide This Morning at 6:51 a.m.
Looking to rent a fully operational production studio? Then Nationwide 90 FM has got you covered. We have flexible options to meet your recording needs any day of the week. Monday to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays available upon request. Bookings must be made in advance. Call us today at 630-1210. Let us help you reach your production desires.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, "By God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path." Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of The Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
The Oasis is brought to you by Solar Tech Jamaica. We use the gift of the sun to power our world.
It's undeniable that we should be together.
The true beauty of music is that it connects people. It carries a message. It speaks to you. It changes you. And that's exactly what we do just for you every Sunday as we take you to Urban Paradise, 9:10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Urban Paradise is our weekly musical journey that will serve up 110 glorious minutes of positive storytelling through music, mixed in with inspirational features to provoke thought and to heal the soul.
Like a dream come true, just wanna be with you.
So join me, Diane Ashton Smith, this and every Sunday, 9:10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. Urban Paradise, opening our hearts, connecting to others.
Become Team Jamaica certified to shape the future of Jamaica's tourism sector. TPD Co's Team Jamaica, shaping ambassadors for life.
The time by TPD Co's Team Jamaica training program is
6:44.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for staying with us here Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I am Siobhan Campbell.
Well, as we said in the cover story, tomorrow, nomination day for the February 26th local government elections. Political parties are set to roll out their field of political candidates for the 228 divisions across the country.
Due to the two major political parties of all their potential candidates, do the two major political parties have all their potential candidates in place? How are they gearing up? Joining us now is Deputy General Secretary of the JLP, Homer Davis, to discuss, and later we'll be joined by the PNP's Deputy General Secretary, Nikisha Burchell. Good evening, Sir Davis.
Good evening, sir, and good evening to your listeners.
So, nomination day, 228 divisions. Are your candidates ready, or your potential candidates, I should say?
All right, I'll speak of my own area council, which is area council 4. We have 62 candidates, and they're all ready. And that covers the parish of St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, Trelawney, and St. James.
And the wider JLP machinery, have you got the all okay from your other Deputy General Secretaries and the wider party?
Yes, sir. The last campaign strategy meeting we had, everything is in place. Our candidates are in place, and they're ready.
Any last-minute changes, Mr. Davis?
No.
No
Not at this time.
No last-minute changes?
Not at this time in Area Council 4.
Mm-hmm. And going into the elections, February 26, Mr. Davis, of the 62 divisions, how many does the JLP have?
We now have 36.
36
and we intend
of 62.
to increase that 36.
Oh?
Yes.
And where will you be increasing the number? Which of the parishes?
Well, we'll be increasing in all 5 parishes. Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth.
How many you have in Trelawney now?
We have 6 in Trelawney.
Mm-hmm. And St. Elizabeth?
St. Elizabeth, we have 9. Westmoreland, we have 5. Hanover, we have 3. And St. James, we have 13.
Okay. So you'll be hoping to increase those. Yes? You now don't have Hanover and Westmoreland Municipal.
Westmoreland and Hanover, yes.
Right.
And if we are to look at the figures, we would say we are statistically dead heat in Westmoreland because the 2 former councillor from the other side who joined us would have made us 7-7 in terms of divisions.
Mm-hmm. So come local government election day, what is the plan for Westmoreland? Do you have your party machinery ready to take that seat back?
We have everything that you can imagine will be in Westmoreland.
Explain that
We have not only the candidates, but we have the team around the candidates on the ground now and until election day to make sure that Westmoreland, after over 40 years, will become a JLP-controlled municipality. And, we are going full force to make that a reality for that parish.
I'm sure you've done your canvassing already and you know where you're targeting. Where do you expect to bring out those extra votes to turn the tide?
Well, a lot of people thought we couldn't do so well in the general elections. And we're looking at the same modus operandi where we'll be going. We have been doing that from long before the election was announced. The candidates were on the ground, doing house to house, touching base. Plus, we have done other scientific surveys across Westmoreland and other areas, and our canvas has shown us that we will take Westmoreland this time.
Mm. And right now, you have in Westmoreland, this is now, which of the constituencies you don't have a division now?
We have. Say that again.
Which of the three constituencies, for example, I know Eastern Westmoreland, you don't have a sitting councillor now?
In Eastern Westmoreland.
Right. So
we have 3 in Western Westmoreland, and we have 4 in Central Westmoreland.
Yeah, sitting councillors.
Yes.
Including the 2 recent defectors to you. Yes. So, are you likely to pick up any of the 3 in Eastern Westmoreland?
Well, Eastern Westmoreland is looking so good.
Really?
We will pick up some seats in Eastern Westmoreland.
Where you all get this confidence from, Mr. Davis?
Well, when you do the work, and you're looking at the numbers, and not only the numbers, when you're on the ground and people just rolling out of the hills just to see you, when people call in and just say, listen, I heard that you was in my area and you just didn't come and see me. You have to come back and see me. It gives you that confidence that, listen, the people are not prepared to go back to where they came from 3 years ago. They are prepared to look forward at this time.
Oh. Well, Mr. Davis, it's only a few days left now, 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks.
And I'm in full agreement with you.
Yes.
And believe me, after tomorrow, we're going to step it up a notch.
Oh? You're going to do what?
We're going to be more, we're going to be more potent on the ground.
Oh. How is it looking in your constituency? In
My
South
constituency?
St. James, where the PNP is targeting and hoping to get control of South St. James?
They will fire all blank shots in South St. James.
Oh. How many electoral parish council divisions you have there?
There are 4, and we currently have 3.
Meaning the JLP has 3?
Yeah, we have 3.
Which one you don't have?
We don't have the Catadupa division at this time.
Okay. And what's the majority you have there to overturn if you're to take it?
There's no majority. We have won all 4 divisions in my last election by a minimum of over 281 to as high as 1,050 votes.
But you said you had 3 or 4, didn't you?
Yes, we have 3 or 4. We have the Cambridge division, We have the Maroon Town division.
He's talking about the last general election, I believe.
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
and you expect that margin to hold for the local gov coming?
Well, local government elections, you might not get that highest turnout. But if you look at, for example, the Maroon Town division, the Welcome All division, and the Catadupa division, they normally vote, around about 40, 42, 38, 40, 42% in the local government elections.
Mm.
The Cambridge division now, they normally vote as high as 35, but they're usually in the 30, low 30, mid 30s.
Mm-hmm.
But that is where the bulk of the votes are, because that division is a little over 11,000.
Homer Davis, you are an experienced underground politician. Yes?
Uh-huh.
I've watched you stay in South St. James for many, many years until you finally won South St. James. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
From what we are seeing, this is going to be a pretty closely fought election. Yes? And there's a thinking that it's going to come down to election day, between the polls opening at 7 and closing at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Let me ask you, organizationally, what are the key things that the parties, in particular your party, will have to pay attention to on election day so that you don't have egg on your face at 9 o'clock on that night?
Well, Cliff, we all have a target. And we will be working on our target. We will be getting hourly reports from the field and from our agents within the precincts of the voting center.
And when you say target, what do you mean?
The numbers. The numbers that we have targets for each PD, targets for each division.
Polling division.
Yes, polling division.
Uh-huh.
So we have targets for each polling division. And we have an overall target for the division itself.
Uh-huh. Oh.
And we have assigned people with the competence who doesn't necessarily sit at a polling station. But you have what you call, probably I'm giving them a little too much. But you have people out there doing what needs to be done to get the people to where it matters, and that's the polling station.
Those are the PD captains and runners.
Well, sometimes some of your best fighters, they don't even know who they are.
Oh.
They don't even give them a name.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Mr. Davis. So, Homer Davis is the Deputy General Secretary of the governing Jamaica Labour Party. 62 local division seats in the 5 western parishes of St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, and which one am I forgetting? And Westmoreland, 62. Yeah. They now have 36 of 62. And he's predicting that they'll be increasing the 36 seats they have, right, come the night of February 26.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Davis, thanks for sharing with us.
Just a bit of information, Cliff, because I heard one of your announcers were saying that you could go online and see where you're voting and stuff like that. If you have a new voter's ID, at the back of the new voter's ID, above the barcode, there's a number for the constituency and the PD in which you're voting.
Mm.
So I've not heard the EOJ mention anything.
Mm-hmm.
But persons who are in possession of a new voter's ID, just look at the back, at the top right-hand corner. The first 2 digits is the number for the constituency, and the other numbers there are the polling station number.
And if you have an old voter's ID card?
Well, that would not have it. It wouldn't have it.
Oh, but
This is an upgrade of the old one.
So if I have mine expire from 2017, that means I can't vote?
You can still vote, Mr. Hughes. It's just that we might have to go to the black book and a few questions might be asked. But I think for you, nobody would really want to ask you any questions. I don't think your demographic has changed that much.
It's all right, Homer Davis. You diss me. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
You have a good night, and to your listeners, thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
Bye.
Okay, good. So we move from Homer Davis, the Deputy General Secretary of the JLP, to the Deputy General Secretary of the PNP, Nikisha Burchell. And good evening, Miss Burchell.
Good evening, Cliff. How are you?
I'm good. And let me tell the listeners again, Nikisha Burchell is a prospective parliamentary candidate for the PNP in Homer Davis's South St. James constituency. Yes?
Actually, it's not Homer Davis's constituency. It's the constituency of the people of South St. James. And they'll be writing that very soon for us, Cliff.
Okay, Miss Burchell. So tell me, in Western Jamaica, how is it looking for the PNP for tomorrow?
Well, Cliff, it's feeling almost like a carnival down this side. You would be very excited if you were just in the vicinity of the seats here in South St. James Central, West Central. You're seeing a lot of flags, a lot of posters going up. You see people organizing themselves to get their orange clothing, armbands, caps, whatever it is. We're getting a rush on our PNP offices across the constituencies in St. James and in Western Jamaica. Generally, people want to come out. So it's excitement down here for us. It's like a festival of sorts.
Yes. Hold the line for us, Nikisha Burchell. Stay with us. We're up on a time signal.
The national budget is everybody's business because it impacts every Jamaican. The time brought to you by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service is
7 o'clock.
We're back with you, Miss Burchell. So you say the PNP base excited and motivated.
Yeah, and this is something we've been seeing over the last, couple of months, really, reflected in the polls, of course. The excitement is really boiling. It's moving from a simmer to now a nice bubble. And we're trying to just ensure that we're organized to accept the support that the people of the West are planning to give us through this period.
There are 62 divisions in the West. Yes, I don't know. Is that your tally as well?
Yes, about
62. And of the 62, you have 26. Right? And at the end of the night, on February 26th, where do you project you'll be at?
Well, I'm not a gambling woman, Cliff.
And
but
neither am I.
A student, but I'm a student of Norman Manley, Michael Manley, Portia Simpson Miller. We're trained to organize and to prepare. So what we've been doing over the last couple of months is to ensure that we fix those things that needed to be fixed at the constituency level to make sure that our teams are organized and prepared for the day. We've been doing our mock exercises with our teams. So tomorrow will be almost our first test of the systems that we've been putting in place. So I'm not going to gamble just pulling things out of thin air. I'm going to place my gamble on our organizational strength, and I'm going to ask you after tomorrow to invite me on to tell you how we execute on nomination day, because that will be a signal as to how election day will turn out for us.
Nikisha, are there any last-minute adjustments that was made to the caretakers list, or are you cemented in terms of your candidates to be nominated tomorrow?
We are pretty much cemented. We have had to at least nothing major in the last couple of days. We've had to make some shifts, in the last month or two. Those have been communicated, but we're pretty much going with the slate. We're sending prayers out to one of our candidates from Little London Division, who, as you know, was experiencing some issues and was at the hospital, but his comrades have gathered and they've sent blood and made a blood donation. So he should be good and ready to nominate tomorrow. But we're pretty much steady with the ship we have.
So one of your candidates was in an accident or what?
No. He just ill health and maybe just excitement mixed with whatever other issue he's facing. But he's on the mend and should be good for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. In terms of Westmoreland, we're watching Westmoreland very closely. Yes? It's traditionally PNP. It went Labour in September 2020. And the PNP is confident that it will come back home. The Labour Party is equally confident that they will not only keep what they got in 2020, but also flip the council, the municipal corporation. What is at stake in Westmoreland, Deputy General Secretary Birchall?
Yeah, I don't think the JLP says that with straight faces across the board when they say that. I think they expect that they must say that, but it really isn't the case. If they were that confident, they wouldn't have called off the election for 4 times in succession. The People's National Party has had a history of success in Westmoreland, and that wasn't by accident. It was by careful organization and delivering on promises over the years to the people of Westmoreland. 2020, we saw us losing some ground. Number of reasons, fatigue, and just, the newness of some other candidates and so on. But now that the people of Westmoreland have seen what 8 years under Labour looks and feel like, I'm pretty confident that they will be coming back home, because they never quite left, They perhaps took a look over yonder. They don't like what they're seeing. That's what they're saying to us. And I feel they're coming back home.
8 years, you meant 4 years under Labour?
8 years under Labour since
2016 local government.
2016.
No. The Labour Party didn't take control of Westmoreland until 2020. Isn't that what you're talking about?
No. I'm saying that overall, they've
nationally,
been experiencing nationally 8 years of Labour.
Oh, you switch on maker. We're talking about Westmoreland.
Yes.
Okay.
Westmoreland is a part of Jamaica, so they've also been experiencing Labour pain.
Oh, I
and
see.
Perhaps even more, even stronger pains than the rest of us.
Nikisha, you're going to need more than Westmoreland to turn the tide, essentially, at the local government level. What other areas out there in the West do you sense weakness, and is the PNP going after?
Weakness in the JLP camp, you mean?
Yes.
Well, we're not so much focused on their weakness, because, yes, an aspect of winning is exploiting the weakness of the opponent, but we are also testing our strength. So it's where we're feeling strength that we're pretty much trying to solidify and to bring home. So we're focusing more on our strengths and not the weakness of the JLP.
So it's virtually 7-7 now in Westmoreland with the 2 recent defectors. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Coming out on the night, where you see the PNP in Westmoreland?
Right. I think that Westmoreland will be settling to show the sectors how we feel about their decisions. And so Westmoreland won't necessarily, from where we're seeing, go with the independents. We feel a large portion of our supporters will remain home. I can't tell you how many. Maybe some Labourites may go with them, and even that they can't count on the full complement of the Labour support, because as you know, the fact that they've changed from the Labourite representatives they had to now embrace these turncoats, in quote, they won't be able to hold the full JLP complement, and I don't expect that they will get any PNP on board with them.
So at the end of the night?
On the end of the night, Westmoreland will be orange, as it has been traditionally.
Yeah, you'll now walk away with a majority of the 14 seats.
Yes, we must. The people have been complaining, please.
Mm-hmm.
The cries, it's moved from a murmur to a loud cry now, The people have been experiencing true labor pains. And if we think we're going to be getting quite the turnaround at the local level. The general election, which we expect will come between now and next year, will show Orange Country returning to Westmoreland.
Tell me, in terms of a campaign, yes, I noticed your party leader, Mr. Golding, said it's a national campaign. It's a referendum on the government. We haven't heard the PNP speaking clearly, seriously, consistently to local government issues. Is that to come, or is it going to remain a national campaign focused on the national issues of 8 years of labor pains?
Okay, not wanting to give you too much from our playbook, but we traditionally, except, for a few cases, we would be coming out of a general election, within a couple of months after a general election, we'd be going into a local election, and so the people would have had a fixed diet of what a national presentation from the parties would look like. We feel that testing the climate of the people, they want to hear more from us than just the local issues. So you can expect from the PNP's campaign over this period a mix of both tracks. We, though, believe that national development starts local, and so even though we may be touching on the national issues, we will show the local connections that matter to the people and to the communities they live in.
So we're going to hear two messages, one pitched at the national level and one at the local level.
Right, it's one message, but pitched from two different levels.
So can we get a preview of what that messaging will be centered around, Nikisha? I know you told me that you'll have more announcements to come. But can we get a preview?
Well, you want me to get in trouble with my comrade leader and team. Stay tuned. You see, tomorrow you'll get a peek into it, and then within a few days you will hear our entire or platform in total.
In your own constituency of South St. James, we just heard from Homer Davis. The JLP has 3 of 4 divisions there. You have, as in the PNP, has only the Catadupa division. Yes, surely your target for February 26, how many of the 4 you will win?
Yeah, I didn't hear Mr. Davis at the time, but it's funny that you should say they have 3 of the 4. Mr. Davis, 2 of the seats have no representatives in South St. James. Our representative from the Catadupa division around the time of COVID went blind due to illness, and he was expelled. He was pushed out of the council because of his disability by the Jamaica Labour Party-led municipal corporation there. And the people have not had any representation since that happened. So we want to say thanks to Mr. Gladstone Bent and the service he has given to South St. James and Catadupa in particular. And the people have been feeling the absence of his representation or absence of representation in totality. Another seat, the Anchovy Division, which was last represented by Mr. Homer Davis, they have not had a representative since he stepped up to be the Member of Parliament for our constituency in South St. James. So 2 seats right now are technically unrepresented. The other 2 are within the columns of the Jamaica Labour Party. The PNP is strongly fighting for the 4 seats. We have our strength. South has a history of supporting the People's National Party, and we're going to be building on it. I'm going to tell you closer to the date the numbers we're working with and how many we'll take, but it's absolutely a majority that will be coming from South for the People's National Party.
Organizationally now, Nikisha Burchell, what are the key things that you and your team will have to execute between 7 a.m. or between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. on the day?
All right, so we've tried to encourage our representatives across the divisions to nominate at the earliest opportunity on the day. So most of our people will be nominating at 10 o'clock. We're trying to show our strengths in the areas where we need to show strengths and restraint, where restraint matters for their safety, for example. And so we have marshals who've been deployed across the island, some intra-parish, others from outside who are organizing the parish to ensure that we are moving like a machine So we will have our people nominating, and in most constituencies, that's going to be followed by a road tour to a motorcade to the respective constituencies. So it's going to take some amount of planning and logistical skills to maneuver that and to ensure that we don't have any incidents and that we actually get people home safely at the end of the night. So we have a playbook that we're working with our campaign director and team, and supported by the parish managers at the parish level. They're working in tandem, keeping in contact to make sure that we run something that is safe and successful.
I had an interview this morning, Ms. Burchell, with the Justice Minister, Delroy Chuck, and he described your party leader, Mr. Mark Golding, as a political dunce. I don't know if you heard a political dunce. I don't know if you heard the interview, and
No, I don't listen to Mr. Chuck much.
He said that his decision to make the local government election a referendum on the Holness administration is a sign that he's a political dunce. How would you respond?
Well, I don't know if he considers that as a politically dunce move. The fact that they have built their entire campaign on one man, Mr. Holness, is perhaps the duncest move we've seen in a very long time. And if they have chosen to stack all their cards on one person, the logical assumption is that if you target that one linchpin, then everything will fall. So I don't know if it's his dunce and his party's dunce for having built that strategy, and that he's feeling some form of nervousness that we've identified the strategy and that we're working to nullify their strength wherever it exists. I would rather that Mr. Chuck spends his time dealing with the issues that are plaguing the country, including the Integrity Commission report and the lack of communication to the public as to who the illicit six are, and not spend his time throwing stones at a leader of integrity with a proven track record of success, a person with a clean pair of hands and a pure heart that Jamaica is saying they want in office. So maybe it's fear, it's nervousness from Mr. Chuck, but over here we're happy with our leader, and he's making the shrewdest of political moves that we've seen in recent times, and we will see that on the 26th of this month.
How much of a risk is your leader taking, though, in casting the elections in that light?
Well, he's not a man to take risks lightly. He's very tactical, and so if he's come to that conclusion, it's based on a number of things. Based on intelligence, it's based on activities, based on feedback. And so I trust our leader to take that decision, and the party fully supports him in that decision.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nikisha Burchell.
Thank you. Have a good rest of evening.
Yes, Nikisha Burchell is a Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition People's National Party. She's also its prospective parliamentary candidate in the constituency of South St. James. This is Nationwide at 5.
Cool loans, selling your 500 grand. Fee buy appliances and electrons. All flexible, payment plan. Yeah, man, a hot cash. Hot. I hope to 500 grand. Yeah, man, a hot cash. $500,000 that make you rich fast. 100 grand fi buy steel and black. 200 fi furniture, laptop. 200 fi keep birthday bash. Yeah, money loan hot. Get a cool loan to purchase all your electronics, furnitures, and appliances at coolmarket.com.
This is an important announcement from the National Water Commission. The National Water Commission is advising that regrettably it has been forced to suspend water supply in sections of St. Andrew due to the development of a major leak on the 16-inch cross-country transmission pipeline in the vicinity of Constant Spring Road. An assessment of the damage is now complete and emergency repair work has begun. The NWC expects to restore water supply within the next 12 to 24 hours. The impacted areas are Norbrook, Cherry Gardens, Russell Heights, sections of Barbican, Jacks Hill, Millsboro, and areas off Constant Spring Road, Charlton Avenue, Whitford Drive, Temple Mead, Pinckney's Green, Kinsale Avenue, Cookham Dean, Braywick Avenue, Bracknell Avenue, Hyperion Avenue, Farrington Drive, Farringdon Heights, Ridgeway, Ridgeway Terrace, Road Dean Close, River Ridge, Short Ridge Drive and Avenue, Wilmington Drive, Millsboro Avenue and Crescent, Plymouth Avenue, Dorley Boulevard, and Whitcomb Heights. The NWC wishes to assure customers that storage levels at the Hermitage Dam and Mona Reservoir are at 100% and every effort is being made to ensure that water is restored in the shortest possible time. In the meantime, affected customers are encouraged to carefully manage stored water. Persons in need of trucked water may make a request by contacting the NWC's toll-free number 888-225-5692 or email at customercare@nwc.com.jm. The NWC sincerely apologizes to its valued customers for any inconvenience caused and thanks them for their patience and understanding. That was an important announcement from the National Water Commission.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Jamaican people, JLP say building time. Anything less, we not pay them no mind. Building for you and your community. We will build up Jamaica by supporting good policies, yeah. Build a better life for you and for me. We'll keep building Jamaica. So vote for the JLP, yeah. Jamaica is a blessed island, and JLP are on a ceaseless mission of development all over the nation. Them upgrading the markets and fire stations. Them build the most roadways for we drive on, more than any government before on the island. Them build parks in the communities with better facilities, with the children play fun with you.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Well, tomorrow is nomination day and the police are going to be kept busy, so too we as journalists. Well, returning now to the head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch of the force, ACP Gary McKenzie. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Mr. Hughes. Good evening to your viewers and listeners.
Good. If you will, yes, tomorrow, are we likely to see heightened security presence across the island by the members of the JCF and the JDF?
Definitely so, Mr. Hughes. As we all know, when it comes on to a day such as tomorrow being nomination day, there will be movements all around the country. And so, from very early, we have strategized and, all the divisional commanders from all the various divisions across the country, they have prepared. We have put our deployments together. We know that the streets will also be busy, and so we will have police officers all around to ensure that persons are safe. It is very important for me to say that there is a lot that is dependent on persons who are moving around. We want to say to them that it is important to move around safely. And so from the very onset, we want people to recognize safety once they are moving around.
ACP McKenzie, I'm sure you've been working with the hierarchy of both political parties in terms of how the movements of the motorcades and the potential candidates will be on the ground. So I hope everyone is working from the same hymn sheet.
Yes, we of course, when it comes on to a time like this, there will be discussions, there will be protocols. We depend on, the persons from the various parties to speak to their supporters in terms of, behaviors once they are moving about and so on. And so we expect cooperation, and we expect that good sense will prevail all around.
And your discussions with the EOJ in terms of how to deploy at the various sites tomorrow?
Yes, we are perfectly aware of the various places that will have differences in terms of, what we would look for, what are the different challenges, and so our deployments and our management of these various areas will be tailored to deal with the different situations.
In terms of the protocols, ACP Mackenzie, for example, the motorcades and the marches that we would normally see on nomination day, what are the protocols to be observed?
Well, the protocols are that once the motorcades are moving about, sometimes, and in the past, we see people are hanging out of vehicles and so on. We try to, not try, but what we say is that let us not move about in a manner that is unsafe, and let us not move about in a manner that is dangerous and careless, because at the end of the day, we want the day to conclude with all the activities that have been planned to be properly run and persons are safe. As it relates to marches and so on, all of those would have been communicated with the hierarchy, and we expect that those that have been ratified will be done in the manner as discussed. And so the monitoring of it from the policing perspective will be done to ensure that what we agree on as it relates to what the law requires, that those obtained.
So I take it that there's a schedule that would have been worked out with the political parties to nominate at a certain time, so you don't have the party supporters converging at the same time at the nomination centers?
That is so, Mr. Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
ACP, the use of police vehicles in political rallies, I'm wondering, is that allowed? Because I was sent a video where I saw supporters of the JLP essentially dancing around in the back of a police pickup. Is that something that is allowed?
Well, that is not something that we prefer to happen. In other words, we do not want it to happen. The police vehicle is there to protect, and, if needs be, it may be used to deal with emergencies and so on. The truth is that on some occasions, we have supporters being overzealous, and at times they do some things that are not allowed. We have to be sensitive, and we have to be able to communicate to the people to ensure that they understand that the police are there for a particular purpose, and it is important that the police is operates and is viewed for what they are there for. It is sometimes challenging, but these are things that we have to work through on the ground.
Mm-hmm. So tomorrow morning, motorists, guardians, parents going to the school tomorrow, brace yourself. Yes, we're going to see a lot more of the party political supporters on the roads making their way to nomination centers. So be careful, yes, and tomorrow is going to be a challenge for all of us to stay within the law, right? Thank you very much, ACP Mackenzie. Wish you and your men and women all the best.
You're most welcome, gentlemen, and all the best. And I just want to say to Jamaicans, let us ensure that we operate in a manner that we abide by the law and we get through proceedings tomorrow in a safe and organized manner. Thank you.
Good. All right. After the break, we have two videos for you from the campaign scene. Yes? One from the Jamaica Labour Party, one from the People's National Party. Yes? Two videos, yes, of the parties on the road hunting votes.
The Watchman. Exploring issues shaping our society, government, and business. Provocative, unconventional. Dr. Henley Morgan is The Watchman.
Good evening. An election-winning political platform. Either of the two political parties, JLP or PNP, bold enough to campaign on a political platform having as its main goal dismantling garrison communities, would be assured victory at the polls. Let's examine what that would look like. The dictionary meaning of dismantle is to strip, to smash to pieces, to pull apart. I have a great discomfort with how our government and security forces are going about dismantling garrisons. It is as if the intention is to do violence to these communities and those who live there under the guise of providing security. The sad reality is that in many so-called garrison communities, government's biggest investment in recent times is SOEs, states of emergency, and ZOZOs, zones of special operations. Not remedial education to give youths a second chance, not training in the trades to make them employable, not behavior modification programs to fit them into society. My fear is that what we currently see being played out in poor inner city communities will become the new normal, following a trend that started with the 2010 Tivoli security incursion. The criminals are run out of the community to seek refuge in once violence-free areas. A joint police-military post is established. A few cosmetic projects are undertaken. A couple of prayer vigils and marches calling for peace are organized by the church. Then the country turns its collective back on the affected community for the cycle of poverty, crime, and hopelessness to repeat itself with deadlier consequences a few years hence. There is a verse of scripture that suggests a different context within which to understand and approach dismantling a stronghold. It reads thus: I have this day set thee over the nations and the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 10, King James Version. The building and planting part we don't see happening to any appreciable degree. Getting rid of the dons and freeing the residents from forced obedience to rules imposed by criminal elements is only the first step. The system of informal leadership must be replaced with traditional leadership from among upstanding residents. The housing stock must be made livable and social amenities restored. Provision must be made for the welfare of people who are mired in poverty. Jobs and self-employment programs are needed to provide residents with the means for their sustenance and advancement. Regularize water, electricity, and waste management services. Education is key. Get politics out of the lives of people. This process would resonate with and gain the support of the so-called man in the street who instinctively knows garrison mentality and garrison behavior are at the root of Jamaica's high crime rate, social, economic, and moral decomposition. Think on these things.
Produced by Agency for Inner City Renewal, AIR, and recorded in the Jamming Studio Trenchtown, a breath of fresh air bringing change to the inner city.
Taboo topics,
riveting discussions,
celebrity news and interviews,
topics that are shunned by society,
and everything else in between. Boyatings After Dark with Kareem Boyatings, each and every Wednesday, 8 to 11 p.m. Boyatings After Dark. No topic is too taboo or hard to discuss. Come get your mind blown and your curiosity explored. Boyatings After Dark.
27 minutes going up to 8 o'clock. Well, if you're on our Nationwide 90 FM YouTube platform, we're going to play for you 2 videos from the campaign on for the local elections. And we're going to try and give you those scenes and sounds from the campaign throughout the next few weeks, yes, where we take you. We know a lot of you don't have time or aren't afraid to go out on a campaign platforms and events. So we're going to take it to you, okay? Here's a video from the governing Jamaica Labour Party.
Recover Jamaica stronger. You represent the light of the Jamaica Labour Party, and you must shine in every corner of Jamaica. There has never been a government of Jamaica that has had so many achievements to go and face the people with. You are my family. I am your child, I am your son, I am your brother, I am your uncle, and now I could be your father. When the people of Jamaica see me and hear me and touch me and feel me, they know I am real. I am from them. I am like them. I went through their struggles. I understand their struggles, and I am true to them.
This is one of the best I've seen from the Labour Party since this all started.
And the speech, the twinning with the speech from Mr. Holder, spot on.
Yes.
I love the messaging.
Yes. Well. So that is from the JLP. And we got this, and we source these videos from online and from people who send us them. They're not officially from the parties. Let me tell you that. Okay? But we're giving you sights, scenes, and sounds from the platform. The one we just played was from the Young Jamaica's TikTok account. It showed the Labour Party and the Prime Minister with their candidate Rosalie Hamilton for the Raytown division of the KSAMC, a battleground division. It's no wonder the Prime Minister has been there, because it is close. Remember in Raytown division at the last election, one vote. One vote.
Closest an understatement.
And it is going to be equally close this time around, right? So, and this now from the PNP is from Kennord Grant's TikTok account. He's a People's National Party's candidate to be nominated tomorrow. He's not a candidate yet until he's nominated tomorrow. He's contesting the Bridgeport division of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation.
I'm here in Bridgeport division, and of course I'm here campaigning with Lisa Hanna. Victory, building a better Bridgeport division. Let's go. Big things. PNP we do big things. PNP we do big things. Council of the Northern do big things. Leon Thomas vote for him. PNP.
Councillor cannot grant him, not do nothing basic. Building a better Bridgeport division is really great. Him support the youths, them get
They're
them
supporting Kennard
teach
full
them with
100.
education, them is strive and him support drone rubbing fish fry and community development in my pan. Beautification, community science and football, netball competition. Yeah, Westport him the big things, Bridgeport him the big things, Coffee meet him the big things, West meet him the big things. Hey, PNP we the big things, PNP we the big things, PNP we the big things. Councillor Kennard him the big things. Hey, humble servant of the place, bringing us on a new wave. Trust in the work and keep the faith. All Bridgeport citizens will be great. We got a lot of things in place, trying to keep these streets safe. Working hard to make ends meet. Infrastructure, chugging trails. Cover meet him the big things. West meet him the big things. Bridgeport him the big things. Westport him the big things. Hey, PNP we the big things. Leon Thomas the big things. Cannot grant him the big things. Building a better Bridgeport and the big things.
That one featuring Kennard Grant, the Bridgeport candidate for the PNP, and Lisa Hanna out in Bridgeport campaigning for him.
You know when you're talking about star power?
Yes.
You can understand why Lisa is there.
Exactly.
And I have to say, it's a shame that she's exiting the politics, or at least she says she's exiting the politics. We'll see how that one turns out. But you're reminded many times why Lisa Hanna is so popular.
Mm-hmm. Yes. She's easy on the eyes, she is charismatic, and she has cachet. Yeah? And, you know, the person who brought this to my attention earlier this afternoon said, "Have you seen the video of Lisa in Bridgeport?" I said, "What?" "No." They said to me, "You need to see it." Because it's a comrade who sent it to me. And the comrade said to me, "Cliff, she not going away, you know. She not going away."
Well, Miss Hannah said otherwise, but time will tell. And as if they say many times, a day is a long time in politics.
Depending on the outcome of the elections on February 26th, yeah, she may have a change of heart.
Oh, I wonder, would the change of heart come with a PNP victory or a PNP loss?
What do you think?
I won't say anymore.
It's 20 minutes going up to 8 o'clock, right? So we are going to take your calls. Unless you want me to show you the videos again, let's give them an encore. Yes, let's give them an encore. They want to see it again, okay? The two videos coming from the campaign of 2024.
Jamaica stronger. You represent the light of the Jamaica Labour Party, and you must shine in every corner of Jamaica. There has never been a government of Jamaica that has had so many achievements to go and face the people with. You are my family. I am your child. I am your son. I am your brother. I am your uncle. And now I could be your father. When the people of Jamaica see me and hear me and touch me and feel me, they know I am real. I am from them. I am like them. I went through their struggles. I understand their struggles, and I'm true to them.
All right, so that's the Labour Party video. Yes, the Encore edition. Yes, here is the PNP video starring, as Siobhan said, Lisa Hanna.
Division. And of course, I'm here campaigning with Lisa Hanna. A victory, building a better Bridgeport division. Let's go. Big things. PNP, we do big things. PNP, we do big things. Council of the Northern do big things. Leon Thomas. Vote for him. PNP. Councillor Kennard grant him not do nothing basic. Building a better Bridgeport division is really great. Him support the youths them. Get
they're supporting Kennard full on
with education them is strive and him support drone Robin fish fry and community development in my pan. Beautification, community science and football, netball competition. Yeah, Westport him the big things. Bridgeport him the big things. Coffee meet him the big things. West meet him the big things. Hey, PNP we do big things. PNP we do big things. PNP we do big things. Councillor Kennard him do big things. Hey, humble servant of the place, bringing us on a new wave. Trust in the work and keep the faith. All Bridgeport citizens will be great. We got a lot of things in place, trying to keep these streets safe. Working hard to make ends meet. Infrastructure, jogging trails. Cover meet him the big things. West meet him the big things. Bridgeport him the big things. Westport him the big things. Hey, PNP we the big things. Leon Thomas the big things. Kennard grant him the big things. Building a better Bridgeport and the big things.
All right, so there you have it. After the break, your calls. The numbers 876-630-937124 or 876-618-8255. Good.
The two main political parties are hunting for votes ahead of the local government elections. The PMP says time come.
This will be a referendum on this government. This will be an earthquake for the Labour Party government.
While the JLP says it's building communities.
There has never been a government of Jamaica that has had so many achievements to go and face the people with.
But how do the voters see it? Well, the nationwide Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools will tell us. Is there daylight between Golding's PMP and Holness's JLP? Who do the people trust more to manage their local affairs? The stakes are high. There's everything to play for. Who will get the nod? Your authority on politics nationwide 90 FM has the numbers. Join us starting at 6 a.m. on Nomination Day, Thursday, February 8 for all the results. That's the nationwide Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools on Nationwide 90 FM. Your revolution in media.
$7:45, we're taking your calls. Bobby, you're on the line. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Siobhan, and good evening, Cliff.
Good evening, stranger.
Yes, well, I have to take a time off out of my busy schedule to really campaign for my councillor caretaker. He's a good man over here. Trust me, he don't even elected yet for the seat, and from throughout the COVID until now, he has been fixing roads. He give children grant to go back to school. He has been doing a number of stuff. And I know Mr. Jacob Kukan for the Ensom City Division. Come the 26th, he will be elected as the best councillor Miss Grange ever have in her constituency. This gentleman, Cliff, you would have to ask the people in Ensom City, Eltham Park, Eltham View, and its surrounding, how Mr. Jacob Kukan is there for them. When they are out of water and they call me and I call them, trust me, the both of us, we are in the area along with his team, and I can tell you, he ensure that all the roads are being fixed, we cannot get everything fixed at the same time. But trust me, the both of us go through the division, and we liaison with NAA, and road work is going on now under his watch.
Mm-hmm.
He is an excellent man.
Okay.
And come the 26th, in some city people, Eltham people and so on, please go out early and vote for Jacob Kukan, because if rain come, no vote for him already. If storm come, no vote for him already. And if Master God should come, no vote for Jacob Kukan already. Vote the Jamaica Labour Party with the brilliant leader Jamaica's ever have, Anjo Michael Holness.
All right, sir. Okay. East Central.
Good evening, Mr. Hughes.
Good evening, sir.
Evening, Mr. Siobhan.
Evening, East Central. I haven't heard you in a while. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Happy New Year, man. I wanted to come on at several given time, but the workload has improved and it also gets a little bit heavier. So most time I find it difficult for popping, but like this evening is an evening where I had to do my contribution because I seem as if there's nobody from East Central side at the platform, just like how I see other peoples around the country have the platform to speak on matters concerning local government. So I am here this evening looking at some little statistics, because I went to the municipal corporation on Monday, because I went in town Monday, because I was never feeling well. So I went to the doctor. Even YouTubers, I forget my manners. Mr. Curry B and he asked, where is Essential and Bobby? I think it was Monday of last week. Where here Curry was still in at the chat, but we participate as much as possible because the workload is on. Yeah, get back to the story, Mr. Mr. Hughes, we have some councillors down here, Mr. Hughes, if you call them, Mr. Hughes, why hear from them to, what them have for offer, what they has been done, and what they has been offer, because we have 6 councillors in the East Central Division. We have the Bartown Division, who is Mr. Murray, he's from the Jamaica Labour Party, and we have Mr. Jason Cummins from the People's National Party. We also have Mr. Councillor Magian from the East Central in the Summerton Division. And we also have Mr. Banga Michael Allen from the PNP side. Over in the Jansall side, we have Mr. Graham, and we also have Miss Calamity. Mr. Hughes, our side hasn't getting the spotlight like how we see your side get the spotlight. We see Clarendon side get the spotlight. The Manchester side get the spotlight. We even just hear some clips of your place or get the spotlight. Me even hear Mr. Bobby talk about the place. So Mr. Hughes, we need to hear from our people down on the ground, Mr. Hughes. Yeah, man.
Okay, sir.
But everything cool still, Mr. Hughes, everything nice. But we just want to hear how Council Western Road has been fixing for the last 3-4 months, but we did expect those roads to fix before now. We see a lot more activity going. Both councillors in the Summerton Division. We have Mr. Michael Banga Allen, he's from the PNP, he had give back to school treat. We have Mr. Magian, he have give back to school treat. But who are here, whatever I have from Mr. Hughes? I was supposed to have 2 more persons right at the house this evening, Mr. Hughes, but they didn't get a chance to turn up. I am going to have them tomorrow, make the vice concern too.
Oh?
Thanks. Yes, please. Sometime I have conference call, Mr. Hughes, and I wanted to have a conference call with you and other 2 more persons tomorrow, who can reach out.
No, sir, that's how we do it. You not do that. We will do that. We will do that, not you.
All right, Mr. Hughes.
Okay. All right. Good. Chris.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Who's responsible for the downtown area where the drainage cover is slipping and mashing up cars? Who's responsible for downtown here?
That sounds like the KSMC.
It's dangerous, man. My car just fell into one of those drains 2 days ago. The cover just flip and the car just dropped down into it. It's dangerous.
Wait, you telling me that the cover flipped out of the drain? Or is it...
The cover that the way across in the street for Beeson Street and those streets.
Uh-huh.
Just across from Parliament, they're going across there.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah, dangerous.
I don't think it's a case
The
AMC.
thing to fix. It's not properly fixed. They should do something about it, and that's been there for years now.
I don't think it's a case AMC as Shavonta.
That would be what, the NWC?
The NWA, the National Works Agency.
Dangerous.
Mm.
If you drop in there one night and I don't know if you're going to get us. Somebody dropped in there recently and 6-7 men have pushed me for the car.
Wow. Sorry about that, sir.
The city can't operate like that, man.
Mm-mm.
Just 2 days ago, my car fell into it, burst up underneath.
Mm. Yes, sir.
I don't know what's happening, and that is the city. They need to do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who is responsible can talk to. The mayor?
No, I think it's either the NWA, my memory is telling me it's the NWA, or the National...
They're not doing anything about it, and it's there for years. One cover is missing from the Water Street, one ain't going on East Street. Long 3 covers there. Some people, I see a car almost drop into it because he tried to go around to get into water lane or whatever.
Well, I was on Church Street yesterday? Was it yesterday or day before yesterday? And there's one right at Church Street and, what's the name of that road? Right at the arcade there, right in front of the fashion house, yes? And I see they put up 3 trunks inside there to warn you, yes? NWC or NWA, yeah?
Yeah, but you need to call them out and do something about these covers, that flip-flop cover that's sliding off, and I don't know what's happening.
Okay, sir, thank you. Let's give someone else a chance. Errol, good evening.
Sure.
What?
Is that yours?
Yes, sir.
These are now waste time, man. How do that woman, man? She's so pretty and she doesn't take herself, make a puppy show herself.
Why would you say that?
How you mean? What if we gone at Bridgeport, gone campaign with losing side? Hey,
Miss Hannah,
She out of the business already, and she don't just take away herself, man.
Oh?
You don't get put out of the thing, so you don't need no more business, so you just take away yourself.
Mm.
So she always her beautiful time and her beautiness over there, so. You get me?
No, me not get you. You don't like her come campaign for your side.
The queen take herself, make a big puppy show, you know, man.
You don't like her come campaign for your side, though.
Well, let me tell you, they don't have to share labor right, you know, so she better be like the rest of them, you know, and pull over, you know. Because the next side of destruction, because come the 26th, you know, we have put Mark going if we retire, and we are going to send for like Rasta, man. And then you don't know what you're going to do with him.
How you call the little Rasta man?
No, the man will say him now in the handout thing, Papa. And I check, oh no. That's the Rasta man that me attack. Because, you know, right now, you know, who want to see it, you know. Because anyway, I'm going to lose. So he must better take it, you know. You see me?
You know, don't mix me up.
Me can't wait for tomorrow and nomination pass and 6 o'clock your station come for me here. Blue that pool. Me know you must get into them, Mr. User. Tell me what go on, man.
Well, listen, at 6 tomorrow morning, yes, the results are in from the NNN Blue Dot polls, powered by Total Tools.
6 o'clock a morning,
6 o'clock a morning, we will start to publish the results. And throughout the day, including on Cliff Hughes Online, at 10 tomorrow morning, while we cover nomination day activities.
We'll... a little piece already, don't you?
Yeah, them have it in front of me.
So what you say, are the green or the orange?
Stay tuned, Errol, stay tuned.
Don't be angry.
Didn't me tell you that? No, you not come listen tomorrow morning.
Just cool, man. Give me a little hint.
You have to listen tomorrow morning.
Me listen, let me tell you, 6 o'clock news are left me a morning time.
Very good. So you listen tomorrow morning.
Me a drive go work a morning time. Me listen till in time after 8 when Chevron or who's where the program done talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Cliff Hughes, 12 o'clock lunchtime, me have to listen to Cliff Hughes news.
Yes.
5 o'clock, me come from work, me have to listen.
Well, tomorrow you have even more reason. Beginning tomorrow, as well as Friday, Monday, and on Tuesday, we're going to unveil the party standings. Yeah? How would Jamaicans vote? In the local elections, we asked a specific question about how they would vote, how they intend to vote in the local elections, and then we also asked them if it were a general election, how would they vote? Yes?
Right.
We asked them how if they intend to go out and vote. Yes, they answered. We also asked them if they were able to elect or select directly the Prime Minister of Jamaica, who they would select.
Lost Michael Wellness.
You're in for a shock.
Me in for a shock? You're crazy, man.
You're in for a shock.
That little grey-beard man there with us go more than a chat and doing our plan for Jamaica. How is it go around it?
All right. Okay. All right. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave it for the evening. Thanks so much for being with us. Thanks to our producer, Dana Davey. And you'll get all the details beginning tomorrow of the NNN Blue Dot polls powered by Total Tools. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Reminding you, take care of your loved one and look out for your neighbor. Good night.